can give you. Come on, come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, motherfuckers, come on. Come on, come on, motherfuckers, come on. 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 Come on. Yeah.
We're a minute away from kickoff, so we'll throw it to the legendary voice in the eye. This time we'll pass. Stafford right down the middle. He's got a man wide open. It's caught by Massaquoi. 50, 40. So long, everybody. Massaquoi, touchdown.
Stockton in the pocket, sets up, going for the end zone. Can he get it? Yeah! Yeah!
Boykin looking for running room. He's got a convoy down the far sideline. 50, 40, 30, 20. Boykin, touchdown. Yes, sir.
On the 27, it's second down and 12. We go wild dog with Sony. Nauta goes in motion left, snap it to Michelle. He's running to the left, angling 25-20. Got a block for Brock. 50, 10, 5, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Dogs win it. We're headed to Atlanta.
Everything that I see, the violence I receive permeates everything. I become bound completely. I can't stand this suffering anymore. Why won't it end? No one hears me. No one sees this war raging into me. Life can keep going on this way. Lost inside my haze.
And now let's see if the Dogs have come up and are really ready to play.
Oh, my goodness, clobbered at the 30-yard line. Boom! Here comes pressure. We're going to get him. Nolan Smith, number 4, dragged him down. Bowers breaking away midfield. Bowers will take it to the house all the way. Intercepted. Keely Ringo at the 21. Off he goes. 40, 50, 45, 40, 10, 5. Touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Georgia, a national championship for a new generation of Bulldogs. Here we go. From the land of make-believe, undefeated and number 1 seeded Georgia will try to make believers of the entire nation for the second straight year. Welcome to SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles, California. More specifically, Inglewood, California, for tonight's national championship. 14-0 Georgia, 13-1 TCU meet for the 3rd time ever in postseason play. The Dogs are 4-0 all-time against the Horned Frogs. It's the end of the line for the 2022 season as we have carried over into 23. And in the words of Dogs head coach Kirby Smart, Georgia will keep chopping wood, will burn the boats, and go gigging for Horned Frogs. Those last words were mine. We are down to the final 2, red and black, purple and white. Georgia and TCU, the last one standing, will wear the championship ring. So let the game begin. Right after the Ford drive to kickoff. That's next here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, this is the Ford Drive to Kickoff. The Ford Drive to Kickoff is brought to you by Ford F-150, official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs. See your local Ford dealer today. Our coverage will continue after these messages. Welcome back to the Ford Drive to Kickoff. Once again, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Back inside SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles, California. National championship game on the way. We're counting it down to the kick here on the Ford Drive to Kickoff. Tackle hard work and make weekends more fun in a new Ford F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs. And for great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Along with Eric Zier, Scott Howard here in the Piedmont Healthcare broadcast booth here at SoFi Stadium. And the Bulldogs are starting to leave the field right now. TCU's marching band is on. The Horned Frogs left the field a few moments ago. Let's go down to the field. Shock's got the coach, Kirby Smart. DJ.
All right, Coach, you talked about the composure and resilience of your team. You've been prepping for this ball game. What's been kind of the mood of the team leading up to tonight?
Been pretty quiet, had good practices, been building up their crescendo. You know, you want to be at the tipping point when it comes game time. I think we're getting there. It's nice and cool in here, that's for sure. Ain't got to worry about it being hot.
All right, you talk about Max Duggan and what he can do with his legs, with his arms. What's been the message defense this week to try to keep him inside?
Finish on the guy. When you get an opportunity to sack him, we want to sack fumble. You know, we got to make some plays up front. We got to create havoc on the quarterback, and we got to score points on offense.
All right, go get it done. Go dog.
Thank you.
All right, on back to
Shock, thanks very much. Coach, thanks very much. As Kirby will jog into the locker room to join his team. And the final message before we kick this one off in about 30 minutes. Oh, we got plenty more for you here on the Ford Drive to Kickoff. Like with Eric Zier right now, we're going to get Z's keys to the game. One more time this season, a national championship are on the line. Z, these are your most important keys of the year.
For the most important game of the year. And
Take it away.
I'm going to go back, Scott, to what Kirby has been saying all year long. Leave a mark. Make them quit. Leave a mark. Make them quit. We know this TCU team is not going to be one that quit. They've got moxie. They've got mettle. They've continued to fight time after time. But if you're the Dogs, you want to come out and throw haymakers all year. The truth is this Georgia football team has been carrying that pressure of perfection throughout this year. They've been carrying that load with a target on their back week after week. We've been battered. We've been bruised. Today, all of that goes away. Today, we are at the mountaintop right now. Now we go finish. And if we can come out of the gates fast and just take over this game in the trenches, it could be a great, great culmination to a remarkable season. But in order to do that on the defensive side of the ball, first key of the game, have to contain quarterback Max Duggan. Duggan, number 2 in the Heisman race this year, had a phenomenal year, more than 3,500 yards throwing the football, 36.7% completion percentage. Where he really gets it done is on the ground, 461 yards with his legs. Have to contain him. Can't let him hurt us in both ways. We've got to keep him in the pocket. You just heard Coach Smart saying we got to get him on the ground when given an opportunity to do so. Also, we've got to lock down their all-world receiver, Quentin Johnston. They're going to move him all over the field if they can. We can't lose sight of him. Have to keep him from making explosive plays. And then we got to burn the boats on defense as well and just come after Max Duggan from multiple angles, get safety blitzes involved, zone blitzes involved. We've got to make him uncomfortable. If we do that, Max Duggan has shown that he will struggle throwing the football. Last thing we've got to do is be great in gap control. Michigan got torched last week because defensively they got out of alignment and allowed massive holes for TCU to run through. TCU's good enough on the ground to gash you if that happens, so great gap control on the offensive side of the ball. We've got to do a great job with identifying where their Mike linebacker is and then communicating so everybody is on the same page. You've heard all week about this 3-3-5 defense. Why it creates so much confusion is because it's a different look that you're not used to seeing, and getting on the same page in terms of pass protection and blocking assignments, it becomes much more difficult, critical. It starts with Stetson, and then we've got to get that communicated across the board. Also need to attack the seams of this defense for TCU. It's their worst defended route that they've had all year, in part because they are so aggressive bringing safeties down into the box. They are great on the outside. They've got 2 phenomenal cornerbacks that are lockdown corners, but they struggle in the seams. We're going to have shot at big plays. We need to take shots early, let them know we know where your weakness is, and then see where it goes from there. Have to be great in play action as well. That's one of our strengths. TCU has given up 14 shot plays against play action this year, so they've been gashed because they pursue so quick. We're going to have opportunities there in the passing game as well. And then finally, protect the football. This is an opportunistic TCU team, if we turn it over, they're going to find a way to stay in the game. We control the football. We're going to and protect the football. We're going to be celebrating here in about 4 hours.
TCU on the positive side, turnover margin. Georgia one under the even mark in turnover margin for the season. Let me ask you one thing before you get away. Quentin Johnson, you mentioned him. Darius Davis, Tay Barber, 3 veteran receivers, all very, very good. Georgia has been hit hard by the passing game against LSU and then against Ohio State as well. How do we clean that up, and do you have confidence that we can against TCU's passing attack?
Yeah, I do. All the talk last week about the great receiving corps, this one's not far off from it.
Yeah.
You talk about Barber, he's very much like Ibuka. We got torched last week on that little half roll by C.J. Stroud with Ibuka, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. just kind of on the backside. Barber's got that ability. Quentin Johnson's got that ability. Johnson's got that ability as well. They're not as talented as Ohio State, but they're not far behind him. The Dogs are at our best defensively when we pin our ears back and we come. We get safety pressure in. We get zone blitz kind of pressures in. A lot of different looks. Dogs have got to go bring the heat all night long.
Everybody wants to focus on Ringo and his matchup. How important is that tonight?
So it's going to be important. I look for TCU to move Quentin Johnson all around the field. So I think that we're going to have to be cognizant of where he is, because they're going to try to find ways to get him open. He's that dynamic. I don't think it's that we may go match up Keeley just on him and have him go wherever, but I think we're going to see Quentin Johnson move inside, be outside, typically he's on the left-hand side of this offense. I think he's going to move around quite a bit. So Dogs are going to have to be able to recognize where he is, and then if we want to go man him up with Keeley, or if we've got others are going to just play certain roles, we're going to have to give help at times, but he is a talented receiver, and it's going to be a big matchup on who wins that one.
All right, Z, thanks very much. Quentin Johnson approaching 60 catches on the season, already over 1,000 yards in receptions this year for the Horned Frogs. Some fun matchups in tonight's national championship matchup. This is the Ford Drive to Kickoff. Tackle hard work and make weekends more fun in a new Ford F-150, the official truck of the national champion Georgia Bulldogs. See your local Ford dealer today. We'll continue with more from SoFi Stadium here in Los Angeles right after this on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Tackle hard work and make weekends more fun in a new Ford F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs. For great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Scott Howard back with you here at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. Let's take a look across the SEC. It's brought to you by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. And not only in this segment, we'll take a look across the SEC with Georgia, but we'll take a look at the Big 10 numbers as well, or Big 12 numbers, from TCU. Let's start on the offensive side, where Georgia was ranked third in average points per game, 39.5 points a game for the Dogs. That ranks ninth best in the FBS. TCU scores at a 41-point per game clip. That led the Big 12 this season, and fifth in the FBS. On the ground, Georgia averages 202 yards per game, fourth in the SEC, 22nd overall in college football. TCU at 204 yards a game, third best in their conference, the Big 12, and 19th in the FBS. Through the air, Georgia completes an average of 293 yards a game. That finished third in the SEC, 15th in the country. TCU throws it for 270 yards a game with Max Duggan, third best in the Big 12, 29th in the FBS. And in third down conversions, Georgia hopes to improve on a 2-for-10 performance against Ohio State, and they should by average at 49.7% conversion rate on third down. That led the SEC for the Dogs offense. TCU has a 41% conversion clip. That was fourth best in the Big 12, 47th in the FBS. On defense, Georgia gives up only 14.8 points a game. That led the SEC this season. Turns out fifth best in the FBS. TCU yields 26.5 points a game, 4th in their conference, 65th best in the nation. On the ground, the Dogs give up very little in the running game, just 80 yards per contest. That leads the SEC and was second best in the country. TCU gives up 152 yards game per average on the ground, 6th best in the Big 12 and 70th in the FBS. On third down conversions, Georgia led the conference, second in the country, giving up a paltry 27% on third down. TCU's defense on third down, 34.5%. That was 4th in their conference and 36th in the FBS. Through the air, 225 a game. Georgia allowed 9th best in the league. TCU gives up 243 a game, 5th best in the FBS. And as we mentioned a few moments ago, turnover margin, TCU +9 this year, Georgia -1. That's our look across the SEC and a peek at the Big 12 with tonight's national championship combatants, and it's brought to you by T-Mobile. We'll continue from Los Angeles, more of the Ford Drive to Kickoff as we count you down to the kick, now less than 20 minutes away from the national championship here on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
This is the Ford Drive to Kickoff. Now back to Scott Howard and Eric Zier.
Taking you right up to the opening kick and beyond. Approaching 15 minutes from our kickoff. Let's take a look at the T-Mobile starting lineups presented by T-Mobile, bringing 5G to hometowns across the SEC and proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. We'll look at the Dogs offense and what we expect as a starting lineup tonight. Broderick Jones at left tackle, redshirt sophomore from Lithonia, Georgia. Xavier Truss, the left guard, a junior from Rhode Island. Cedric Van Pran in the middle. He's a redshirt sophomore from New Orleans. Tate Ratledge, the right guard, redshirt sophomore from Rome, Georgia. And Marius Mims, a sophomore from Cochran, Georgia. If Warren McClendon is able to go, then we will see number 70 as well, junior from Brunswick, Georgia. The wide receivers, Marcus Rosemy-Jackson, a junior from Pompano Beach, Florida, along with Kieris Jackson, a senior from Fort Valley, Georgia. Ladd McConkey's a redshirt sophomore from Chatsworth, Georgia. We expect to see Arian Smith, a redshirt sophomore from Bradley, Florida, and A.D. Mitchell as well, sophomore from Missouri City, Texas. We could see a few more guys at that spot like Blaylock and Bell as well. The tight end, Brock Bowers, a sophomore from Napa, California. Oscar Delp, a freshman from Cumming, Georgia. And Darnell Washington, a junior from Las Vegas, Nevada. The running backs are Kenny McIntosh, a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Kendall Milton, another California kid, a junior from Fresno. And Dejon Edwards, a junior from Norman Park, Georgia. And the quarterback, Stetson Bennett, his final game as a Bulldog, a senior from Blackshear, Georgia. That's the T-Mobile starting lineup for the Georgia offense. We continue with our countdown to kickoff here on the Ford Drive to Kickoff from Los Angeles. Back in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Georgia Bulldogs, the number 1 seed in the playoffs, 14-0 the record coming into today. They went 8-0 in the SEC, won their 14th conference championship a little more than a month ago, and a 50-30 win over LSU, then advanced here with last week's win over Ohio State in the Peach Bowl. Georgia has won 16 straight games, 32 of their last 33. 17 wins in a row, by the way, is the UGA record set by the Bulldogs in 1945 through 1947. That record's been on the books for a while. Kirby Smart in his 7th season as the head coach with a record of 80-15, 28-2 against non-conference opponents. In case you were wondering about that, the last non-conference loss by Georgia under Kirby Smart was to Texas in the New Year's Day 2019 Sugar Bowl, and that was 28-21 was the final score there. TCU comes in at 13-1. They went 9-0 in the Big 12. Lost to Kansas State in the conference championship game, however, 31-28 in overtime. They are the number 3 seed. They defeated Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl 51-45 in their first appearance here in the college football playoff. Sonny Dykes is the head coach in his first season, his 12th overall, a record of 84-64 all time. And TCU is the first Big 12 team to win a college football playoff game, which they won last week over Michigan. Just a few notes on both teams as we get ready for the kickoff. Georgia and TCU coming up in the national championship at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. We'll continue our march to the kickoff in less than 10 minutes. It's coming up. Back in a moment on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network.
Who's that coming down the track? Who's that coming down the track? It's a mean machine in red and black. It's a mean machine in red and black.
14 have entered the arena.
Everyone on their feet here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Nobody sitting in this one.
No! Go! He missed it! Left!
And the Dogs are still standing.
Take the snap, take a knee, win the game! Georgia advances to the national championship.
Dog Nation has descended upon Southern California. Unblemished.
We're gonna go out here and put it all on the line.
Undefeated.
Now we gotta take care of business.
Perfect.
Ready to go, because this is what you do it for.
One game stands between the Dogs and perfection.
Race to the end zone, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! He drives straight ahead, no signal, yeah, touchdown, he got in there! There he goes, he's with Coach Gillett, the Napa, California native, into the end zone, touchdown, Brock Bowers, that's a touchdown! He slides into the end zone, he was 5 yards behind his man, and McConkey was 6 from the 10, snap it back to Bennett. He looks in the end zone, throws it for the back corner, caught, touchdown, 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 A.D. Mitchell, back left corner.
Georgia, TCU.
Man, there's going to be some property destroyed tonight. Dogs on top.
For glory, this is the College Football Playoff National Championship. On the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network, welcome to play-by-play coverage of Georgia football. Bulldogs football is brought to you by Zaxby's, Pruitt Health, Family Makes Us Stronger, and by Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs. Now to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California, in the Piedmont Healthcare broadcast booth. Alongside former All-American Eric Zier, here's the voice of the Bulldogs, Scott Howard.
Welcome back. Pre-game activities winding down as all of those folks on the field make their exits, and we are about to welcome in both teams, Georgia and TCU, for the national championship. We've got to get one more timeout in before the coin toss and let the impact begin. After that, as we get this one underway, we'll step aside for these words on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. Captains are at the middle of the field. Our referee today out of the ACC, Jeff Heiser. And our coin toss is brought to you by Georgia's own credit union, banking on purpose. Let's listen in.
Congratulations on a successful season. My name is Jeff Heiser. This is Jim Eckel. We're of the Atlantic Coast Conference. The commemorative coin today, the trophy is the head. SoFi Stadium is tails. TCU, you will make the call. Tails is the call. Tails is the call. It is a head.
We defer and kicking it to the locker room.
Georgia's won the toss. They've elected to defer. Can we bring that up to 10?
There you go. Georgia wins the toss, defers to the second half. The Bulldog captains in street clothes and a uniform jersey is Nolan Smith, and you've got Stetson Bennett, Cedric Van Pran, and Christopher Smith, the All-American. Those are the Georgia captains. We're going to tee it up for the kick here in just a moment. Our kickoff is brought to you by Georgia Power. Doesn't matter where in the Peach State you're cheering on the Dogs tonight, Georgia Power is energizing your community. Visit georgiapower.com/community to learn more. Let's head down to the sidelines. DJ Shockley was in the locker room prior to this team coming out to the field. Shock, what was going on in the locker room with the coaching staff and the team?
Yeah, fellas, one of the more passionate speeches I heard from Kirby Smart coming in. He started off by talking about going back to SEC and saying, hey, this is the time that we waited for. They don't know what we did in the summer. They don't know how hard we worked, how fast we went after stuff, but they're going to find out tonight. And he said the SEC media days, he went back and said everybody talked about Georgia being the hunted. Well, he said tonight is the last night for hunting season, and we got to finish the season the right way.
All right. I love it. Hunting season ends tonight, and Shock will join us all throughout tonight's game from the Georgia sideline, presented by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. We're going to watch from the Georgia end zone corner is where we are located tonight. It's a beautiful spot in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth. Kind of long range down on the right end of the field, but we will bring you the action tonight. Georgia in red and silver breeches, red helmets. TCU in white jerseys and black pants and mostly black helmets. Darius Davis, the deep man to receive. He's a dangerous return man. Jack Podlesny, the SEC Special Teams Player of the Year, will kick it away from right to left, and we are underway in the national championship. Davis will catch it up high around the shoulder pads on this near side in the end zone and take the touchback, and that's how National Championship Game 2023 begins. TCU will have the football on their own 25-yard line, and Georgia on defense to get us cranking.
Critical for the Dogs that we contain Max Duggan and find a way to get pressure while still being disciplined so he doesn't get an opportunity to run around. 461 yards for Max Duggan rushing the football this year.
Horned Frogs will send 3 receivers in this formation, 2 to the left and 1 to the right. DeMarcardo is the back with Duggan, and an early movement by the left side of TCU's offensive line. Brandon Coleman.
Prior to snap. Ball starts. Offense, number 79. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the left guard also, Steve Avila, moved early. He's an All-American. It's loud in here, certainly.
Boy, indeed it is, Scott. And right now, TCU just at their backs. It is all red and black. The other end zone is purple and white, but TCU operating right now in the teeth of this Dogs fan base.
Snap back to Duggan on 1st and 15. Duggan going to scramble to the right, throw it downfield, and overshoots his man. He had the target, and the target was open. Down on the right side, on the right sideline, Kamari Lassiter was the closest to him, but it was incomplete. Jamon Dumas Johnson had some pressure on Duggan that forced him to roll out of the pocket and run to the right. But the first pass of the game by the Horned Frogs is incomplete, trying to go to Savion Williams on that right side. 2nd down and 15 for the Horned Frogs on their own 20.
And Williams had a step on the Dogs. He's a big target at 6'5".
Duggan going to set up a screen and throw it to the left to Quentin Johnston, his first catch. He makes it down the line and then is eaten up near the 25 by Smile Munden, the linebacker, Georgia's leading tackler this season. Makes the stop there after a very a short gain. About 7, maybe 8 yards. Almost got back. Nope, excuse me, about 3 yards. Excuse me, it was on the 20 before they got to the 23.
Dogs yet to bring pressure, sitting back in primarily a 2-deep zone right now, trying to get into the TCU backfield, just rushing 4 here. Looks like we may go drop 8.
Georgia's defense moving, TCU's offense moving around. Now we're set to go on 3rd down and 12. Duggan will drop back and throw, and short, incomplete at the TCU 35. Tried to go to the turf and roll and catch it. Darius Davis right in front of the Georgia bench, couldn't scoop it up. It's incomplete. TCU's going to go 3 and out on their first possession of the game.
Dogs did go drop 8 there on that 3rd down play. Sitting back in zone, we had 2 spies on Max Duggan just to make sure he didn't get out and hurt us with his legs.
Jordy Sandy, a senior punter, on to kick it for TCU. Kieris Jackson, the deep receiver for Georgia, right around our 40. The snap is clean. The kick is off. Going to hang high in the air. Kieris going to make the fair catch at the Georgia 42, maybe the 43-yard line. Dogs have terrific position to start their first series of the game. Only a 34-yard punt, no return. And Georgia will go 1st and 10 from their own 43. Bulldogs football brought to you in part by your Atlanta area BMW centers. Legendary performance, exceptional offers, and a premium ownership experience. At BMW, they only make one thing, the ultimate driving machine. Visit BMWATL.com today, proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics.
Great starting field position here for the Dogs. Really important that the Dogs are able to identify who the Mike linebacker is in this 3-3-5 look.
Dogs jump early on their first snap. The left guard, Xavier Trust, was already into his pull to the right side. And now the Dogs will back up 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15. Ball should be on the Bulldog 38-yard line.
Dogs had half the offensive line move early there. I wonder if that was Cedric Van Pran not snapping the football.
Mims is the starter at right tackle, not McClendon tonight, as it was against Ohio State in the Peach Bowl. Snap it back to Bennett. We hand it off to Kenny Mack, and Mack fights through a hole at right tackle across the 40, back up to the 45 before they twist him down. 7-yard pickup. Jamoy Hodge, a middle linebacker from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, makes the stop for the Horned Frogs. But as we said, a 7-yard gain. That erases the penalty, and it'll be 2nd down and 7 for Georgia at the 45.
Good patience there by Kenny McIntosh, allowing that hole to develop.
Dogs go empty now. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Bennett wants to throw. Time in the pocket. He fires. Catch number 1 on pass number 1 of the night goes to Brock Bowers. He makes the grab at the TCU 40. They'll tackle him around the 36-yard line. Mark Perry, the strong safety, makes the stop. That's a Scana Energy 1st down, and the Dogs are up to the line, ready to go, but the officials are going to hold them up for a second.
Great job there by Brock Bowers on that seam route, breaking it in. He had a half safety over the top of him. Took that seam route, turned it into a little skinny post. Great recognition there by Stetson Bennett. Good job by the big offensive line, providing plenty of protection and a clean pocket and a strike delivered right out of the gates.
21 yards on the gain. 1st down, Georgia. Dejon Edwards in the game. He takes a play fake from Bennett. Now Stetson will hit him in the right flat. He'll fight off one tackler on the far sideline and then battle through to the 24-yard line before being knocked out of bounds by Hodges and Hodge. Wide linebacker, or the weak side linebackers, Johnny Hodges, their leading tackler, and Jamoy Hodge, the 2 guys that made the stop. But wait a minute, we've got a flag on the play, and it looks like Georgia's retreating.
Offense, number 11 and number 30. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
Illegal shift there on Arian Smith and Dejon Edwards, both moving right at the same time. Not sure who was necessarily at fault on that one. While you don't like the penalty, what you do like, good patience there by Stetson Bennett to get off of his initial and primary receiver, come to his check down, just take what the defense is giving you.
Kendall Milton in the backfield now with Georgia. The ball's back on the TCU 39. We throw a screen to Bowers. He's got a big offensive lineman out blocking on the interior. Bowers shifts outside to the sideline, fights through a man, but they'll bring him down at the 27 of the Horned Frogs. That's the All-American and the Thorpe Award winner, Travius Hodges Tomlinson, who grabbed a leg and got Bowers down. It's going to bring up 2nd down, though, off to the gain by Georgia. 2nd down for the Dogs and about 3 yards to go from the TCU 27-yard line.
Well-designed play there, just a quick little screen pass. Get Brock Bowers involved in this football game early. Already 2 catches on this first drive.
12 more yards on the pass play. Split backfield. Hand it to Milton. Makes one man miss at the 30. Angles to the near side. They'll trip him up at the 20-yard line as Kendall picks up the 1st down. Hodges and Cooper, the linebacker and the defensive end, converge to make the stop, but Kendall Milton has another Scana Energy 1st down as the Dogs are moving here on their first possession despite a couple of 5-yard penalties. Broderick Jones with a block on this near edge to help spring Milton on that angled run.
Poor angle there taken by a TCU linebacker. Actually had a bead on that play, but as he scraped too shallow on his angle, allowed the Dogs to get past that and get to the 2nd level.
That was a 6-yard gain. Now here is Bennett going to fake it, and all the way into the end zone. He faked it to Dejon Edwards, who rolled to the right. Some of the defenders went with him, and Bennett has clear sailing 21 yards into the end zone for the first score of the game.
Boy, fantastic ball fake there by Dejon Edwards. That captured every TCU defender's attention, and then Stetson Bennett able just to waltz into the end zone. Big block, too, by one of the Georgia offensive linemen. We'll get that number here in just a second, but a huge seal block allowing Stetson to walk in for the opening score.
Bennett, so excellent at the play fake there. And a 21-yard touchdown, his 9th rushing touchdown of the season. Georgia on the board first. A little Horned Frog blood on their hands. The kick after by Podlesny is up and good. And it's 7-0 Bulldogs in the national championship game. Timeout here in Los Angeles. Our first half presented by attorney Ken Nugent. Injured in a wreck. There's only one call. That's all. 1-800-CALL-KEN. Dogs 7. Horned Frogs nothing on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
Georgia is our home.
Metals drive summary from a doghouse to a dog's house. Georgia Metals has got you covered. 9 rushing touchdowns now by Stetson Bennett as we rejoin you in the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at SoFi Stadium. Good-looking drive, Z, except for the 2 5-yard penalties, but the little hiccups didn't seem to bother the Dogs.
No, not at all. And a great block there by Broderick Jones that allowed Stetson Bennett to waltz into the end zone. And so you can tell that both teams, a little bit of nerves here early in this football game. There's a lot of noise in this stadium. TCU has a 5-yard penalty. Dogs get 2 of them. But you're right, able to overcome it pretty easily.
Pod's kick coming this way and fielded, but not cleanly, by Davis in the end zone, but it's a touchback. And the Horned Frogs will have it again at the 25. Let's take a quick station identification break. 10 seconds on the Georgia Bulldogs Sports Network. So TCU back to where they started. Let's go down to Shock on the Ken Nugent sidelines. 1 call, that's all. DJ.
Hey, guys, the offense, when they came to the sideline, a lot of talk about the movement that they can get up front. Just feels like they're more physical already in this game than TCU.
Where's possession number 2 for the Big 12 runners-up? Duggan, play fake. We're eating his lunch in the backfield, back at the 18-yard line. Dogs didn't bite on the fake. Smile Munden, I think, the first to get there. Yeah, down on the 18, and then it was just crowd control in the backfield. There were 4 or 5 more red shirts. Jalen Carter, Nazir Stackhouse. Duggan goes down back at the 18.5. A loss of almost a full 7 yards.
And Scott, first snap tonight early in this football game that we played single safety. We've been too high up until that point here. Second series of the game, come out, go single safety.
Chaz Chambliss in the ball game. Brace on his left knee. Duggan going to throw it out in the right flat. The pass is caught by Darius Davis. He tries to fight through red shirts for positive yards, and there's just not much there. He got to the 20 or an inch or 2 beyond. There's Smile Munden again with another stop for the Bulldog defense, and it's going to be 3rd and extra long again for TCU.
Boy, speed of the Dogs right now on display. Great read there by Smile Munden, able to scrape very quickly and get it in that tackle on the opposite side of the field. Did the same thing immediately. Had to see something in tape leading up to this game because both linebackers scraped to the opposite side of the field to take away the bubble screen.
3rd and 14. Duggan with time. Pressure from behind. Pass is thrown, and it is incomplete. Jared Wiley, the tight end, broken up around the 25 or so. Keely Ringo in coverage for the guys in red. And Chambliss
defense, number 22, 10-yard penalty, first down.
What was the call? There was a flag?
I think it was defensive holding on Bullard, I believe.
Oh, my goodness. Chambliss was coming around from the near edge, circling around from the back to try to reach for Max Duggan. He got the throw off just in time. But Georgia's flagged their 3rd penalty of the game already, and that was a costly one on 3rd and 14. Now they have 1st and 10 after a defensive holding. Ball's on the 31 for the Horned Frogs. And they get it to one of the receivers. The ball comes out. He's stripped on the far side. Pile for the football. Georgia's got the ball.
Boy,
Bullard made up for it, Z.
Sure, a great defensive play there.
The field is a fumble
by the Dogs. TCU got outside to contain immediately. But a great move inside by Bullard, able to get back outside. Christopher Smith stripped the ball, and then Bullard able to fall on it. You're right, making up for it in fine fashion right there.
They ran a jet sweep with Davis to the left. He got to the edge, Smith stripped the football. It came bouncing behind the runner, and that's when Georgia dove on the ball, and the Bulldogs have possession again in plus territory. They'll take over at the TCU 33-yard line, leading it 7-0. Dogs up and ready to go. Handed off to McIntosh on a reverse. We pitch it to Bowers. Bowers trying to fight through defensive traffic. He cuts inside the hash mark. They hit him around the 30. He'll tumble down maybe to the 29 or so. Millard Bradford, the nickelback, the last man to make the hit on Brock Bowers. And the Dogs go from the 33 to almost the 29-yard line. Well, they give him the 29. So a 4-yard carry for the Dogs. Second down, 5.5, 6 yards to go in TCU territory.
Reverse there by the Dogs, but TCU sniffed it out. Great job by Brock getting north and south.
Bennett, a play fake, throws on the run to the right on the rollout. A high leaping catch made by Ladd McConkey, going out of bounds on the far side, got his feet in at the 13-yard line. Bud Clark, the free safety, in coverage. Excellent throw, maybe even a better catch by Ladd McConkey at the 13-yard line. They pick up 15 and a Scana Energy first down.
Boy, deep out there by Ladd McConkey. And maybe the best news of anything is that Ladd, who's been battling through knee pain over the past couple of games near the end of the season, there gets up after that hit. No limp at all, able to get off the field without any visible sign of pain.
The Big O on the field in this play. Handoff to Kendall Milton. Straight ahead run down the hash to the 10. That's a 3-yard pickup. Dogs work inside the Massey Ferguson red zone here for the second consecutive series. Bradford made the stop for TCU that time right on the 10-yard line after a 3-yard gain.
Boy, Bennett right now out of the gates throwing the football very well. 4 out of 4 on the afternoon. Good decision making as well.
Dejon Edwards in the backfield to the right of Bennett in the shotgun. Snap it back to Stett. Time to throw over the middle. Broken up. He was going for Washington at the 7. Broken up by Bradford right at the 7-yard line on the far hash. Incomplete pass. It'll bring up third down for the Dogs at the Horned Frog 10-yard line.
Again, good patience there by Stetson Bennett. Had a couple receivers in the end zone. Didn't quite like the pitcher, so came to his check down. Just a good defensive play there by TCU to come and swat that one away.
We stay with the 2 tight ends, Washington and Bowers. Bring McConkey in tight on the near side. Edwards in the backfield with Bennett. 1 receiver to the right. That's A.D. Mitchell on the far side. Snap it back to Bennett. He looks near side, throws it. Caught at the 8 by Dejon Edwards out of the backfield. Tackled immediately right there by Mark Perry. Good play by the strong safety for TCU. No yards after the catch, and the Dogs are down just inside the 7, and it's going to be 4th down for Georgia right there, and we'll try a field goal.
Another really smart decision there. Dogs flooded the zone. We had a little post route and a wheel route on the outside. Both of those covered up. Get the football out to Dejon Edwards on a flat. That was his check down. Stetson Bennett right now playing within this offense exceptionally well.
25-yard try just inside the near hash for Podlesny, kicking to our left, and the field goal is up and good. Pod now 23 for 23 on field goals this season inside of 40 yards. Dogs add to the lead.
Fuel points, which can add up to $1 per gallon off at the pump for the win. Plus, save every day on groceries and get personalized digital coupons for the win. The Kroger Plus card. All you do is win. Big, big savings. Sign up now at Kroger.com and start saving. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at SoFi Stadium. Georgia 10 and TCU nothing. Georgia's last scoring drive covered 25 yards in 6 plays, a 25-yard field goal by Jack Podlesny as the Dogs convert 3 points after the fumble recovery, the strip by Chris Smith, and the recovery by Javon Bullard. And the Dogs have a 10-0 lead here, first quarter of the national championship game. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Pod to kick it away again from right to left, angling it to the near side, going to come down deep in the end zone, about 8 yards deep, and bounces out the left side of the end zone for another touchback. TCU's ball, 1st and 10 on their 25. Let's check in with Shock on the sidelines, brought to you by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. DJ.
Hey, fellas, nothing really is surprising the Dog defense right now. They talked a lot about this stuff that's happening already on the first 2 drives. A lot of screens, making sure that the D linemen retrace their steps. So they're doing a really good job of noticing what formation they're in, and they're already like 2 steps ahead of TCU.
Through 2 series so far, Shock, yes, Georgia's defense has been dominant. They can just avoid mistakes. Snap it back to Duggan, and handoff straight ahead to Imari DeMercado, the backup running back, tackled by Michael Williams. He had a sizable hole as he hit it, but Georgia closed it after a 4-yard gain at the 29. Williams to stop. 2nd down and 6 for the Horned Frogs.
Dogs brought linebacker pressure and a little stunt blitz there. Michael Williams did a good job of getting back into that gap, because if not, because of the blitzing Dumas Johnson, DeMercado could have taken that one to the house.
Dogs with Williams and Logue and Brinson across the front line. Beals up as a linebacker. He's not going to come, as Duggan will throw a deep ball wide open far sideline. Is caught by Davis. Bullard passes him, trying to tackle him. Davis still on his feet, way down the other end of the field, and finally forced out of bounds around the 10 or the 11 of Georgia. Somebody lost coverage, Z. And number 11, Darius Davis, was wide open on the far sideline.
Boy, was he ever. Busted coverage all the way. A little cross route. Quentin Johnson actually came in. He took 2 guys with him and left Davis all alone on a takeoff.
61-yard gain. TCU will run it from the 10-yard line down the hash. And the Dogs have a player slow to get up. That is Warren Brinson. As the play will be stopped. DeMercado, the running back, where they tackle him at the 6, I think. It's hard to tell from, we're back on the far end from where the action is taking place right now, but Georgia has an injured player, and that's going to halt play with 5:33 remaining in the opening quarter. 2nd down and 5 will be coming up for TCU after an injury timeout. Georgia leads the Horned Frogs, but TCU on the Georgia 6. First threat of the game offensively by the Horned Frogs. Georgia 10-0. Injured player a moment ago, Warren Brinson for the Bulldogs, as we rejoin you from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth, which for this portion of the game is not in a terrific location. We're back in behind the end zone, and the action down to our far right on the 6-yard line. 2nd down for TCU. Snap it back to Duggan in the shotgun. He hands it off to DeMercado, straight ahead running. Right behind the center, Jamon Dumas Johnson hits him before the goal line. Tramel Walthour as well. And when they unpile the bodies, they're down at the 2-yard line. So 3 more yards for the Horned Frogs. It's going to be 3rd and 1. They can get a first down at the 1. And they only need 2 to get in the end zone.
TCU offensive line is just massive. 300 pounds plus across the board. Little inside trap there by the Frogs.
Snap it back to Duggan. He's going to run it in easily, untouched. Sprints in, standing up around the left tackle. Touchdown TCU. And they close the gap. It's 10-6 with the point after coming.
Read option there by Max Duggan. Just kind of rode the fake into the line of scrimmage. Dogs had to collapse and honor the fake. Duggan pulls it, able to walk into the end zone, and TCU right back in this football game. Big play there, the busted coverage by the Dogs in the secondary.
Gash play of 61 yards through the air. Put TCU in strong scoring position. They take advantage of it. Here's the snap and the hold, and the kick for the extra point is good by Griffin Kell. And it's 10-7. Oh, a brand new score here in the national championship game. Horned Frogs go 75 yards in 5 plays in 2 minutes and 6 seconds. And Max Duggan with a rushing touchdown.
We really struggled getting into proper gap alignment. Michael Williams finally came over and made the tackle, but that was close to being one that just got out of the gates. It could have been a long, explosive run for TCU. After that, got back into really playing very vanilla, just dropping back in coverages again, mixing that up some. So a little surprised that the Dogs choosing right now to spy on Max Duggan as opposed to bring a lot of aggressive pressure.
Griffin Kell to kick it away left to right. Far hash, Kearis Jackson comes up to field the ball at the 3. He's going to return it to the 10, to the 15, 20. Far side of the field, breaks across the 25. They pile him up near the 30-yard line. In fact, it might be right on the 30 on that far right end of the field. So a nice return by Kearis Jackson of about 27 yards or so, and Georgia will go back to work on offense. 1st and 10 at the Dogs' 30-yard line. 2 tight ends set here with the Bowers and Washington in the ball game. Kenny McIntosh will join Stetson Bennett in the backfield. And Warren McClendon is in at right tackle now for the Dogs. Snap it back to Bennett in the shotgun. Quick throw to McConkey. A screen, little tunnel screen as McConkey angles to his right and will be brought down at the 40-yard line, maybe a step beyond to the 41 by Johnny Hodges, the linebacker. 11 yards and a Scana Energy first down for the Dogs on that throw.
Boy, little slip screens there to Ladd McConkey. Nice job. Broderick Jones released from his tackle position, able to get out and make a nice block that Ladd was able to slip down and find plenty of green grass.
We bring to the tight end Bowers in tight to the right side. Snap it back to Bennett in the shotgun. We're going to run it to the right side. McIntosh got a block on the edge. Hops over a TCU lineman and near midfield, actually across midfield, into Horned Frog territory at the 48-yard line. Pushed into the boundary by Dylan Horton, the defensive end. That's another Scana Energy first down for this Bulldog offense.
Counter tray there by the Dogs. We pulled a couple of big offensive linemen easy in this 3-3-5 there to get outside and contain. He had a couple of big bodies, Warren McClendon being one of those big linemen to get outside and open up a nice hole for the Dogs.
11 more yards on that play. Bennett fakes the throw to the near side, in the pocket, moves around, now finds McConkey out on the near side, wide open in the left flat. They'll wrestle him out of bounds downfield at the 37-yard line or so. Bud Clark, the safety, got 2 hands up high on the shoulder pads and wrestled McConkey out of bounds. So 3 straight plays of 11 yards for the Georgia offense and 3 straight first downs. The Dogs will have the ball at the TCU 37-yard line when we snap it again.
I think Stet wanted to go downfield on that one, fake the bubble screen outside, didn't like his pitcher. And again, the patience of Stetson Bennett starting this football game, really, really a positive sign.
Dejon Edwards in the backfield, play fake. Stet sets up to throw, pressure coming on. Wide open McConkey, reaches up high, touchdown, touchdown McConkey. Nobody near him.
Boy, just an out and up there by McConkey and not a Horned Frog in sight. Great job, great play design there. McConkey running absolutely wide open down the left sideline.
Stetson took a good hit at the end of that throw. There was nobody within 20 yards of Ladd McConkey. He just reached up high right on the goal line, eyeballing that ball right into his hands for a running into the end zone, standing up touchdown of 37 yards. Here's the point after try by the Bulldogs to try to go up 17-7. Bennett will hold. There's the snap back. The placement is good. The kick is good by Jackpot Lesney. Georgia 17 and TCU 7. How about that answer? Georgia goes 70 yards in 4 plays in a minute 56. They cash in on the 37-yard touchdown strike from Bennett to McConkey. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. Touchdown catch number 6 of the year for McConkey. And for Stet, that is his 24th TD pass of his Heisman finalist season.
And Scott, you know this TCU team is not going to go quietly into the night. They found themselves in this position all year long, and they found ways to come fight back, stay in football games. It is really important that the Dogs keep the pedal down, continue pressing, and try to deliver knockout blow after knockout blow to see if we can get a little chink in this TCU armor.
Great start for the Georgia offense. 3 possessions, 3 scores. Kickoff by Pod, high, spinning end over end, going to come down inside the 10 at the 7. And Darius Davis will try to return it, tiptoeing his way up across the 20. And we plow into him around the 22-yard line. And TCU will have it there. M.J. Sherman on special teams, delivering that blow for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10, Horned Frogs at their own 22-yard line, down 10 points again.
And going back to that touchdown, you had McConkey on the go route. Following him, you had Kenny McIntosh on a wheel route. That's what brought the cornerback for TCU up and allowed Ladd McConkey to run untouched and nobody around him down the field.
Out of the pistol, Duggan takes the snap, hands it off to DeMarcado, and he's got a hole and positive yards. Just on the inside of the near hash, runs straight up and down the field across the 30, and will be tackled at the 32 by the linebacker Jamon Dumas Johnson, a Butkus Award finalist. But it's first down yardage for the Horned Frogs, a gain of 10.
Yeah,
First and 10 at the 32.
Sorry, Scott, nothing fancy there from TCU, just a zone read. That was just a great push by the Frog offensive line.
They're going to run it again this time. The running back bounces outside, stiff arms one man, and then runs into a horde of Georgia tacklers. But again, positive yards for the Horned Frogs. One of their big linemen slow to get up at the end of that play. Smile Munden Jr., another tackle, but it came at the 39-yard line. It's a gain of 7 for TCU.
If you're a Horned Frog, you like what you're seeing right there from that offensive line. Again, they are big and physical up front right now, pushing this Georgia defensive front around just a little bit.
2nd down and 3 for TCU on their own 38-yard line. Duggan to throw, and he'll find his man, one of the tight ends, I think. Yeah, Jared Wiley on a crossing route. Makes the catch on the far side of the field. We wrestle him out of bounds, tackle him on the sideline at the Horned Frog 49 with Malachi Starks, the Georgia safety. Another 10-yard pickup for the Horned Frogs. Their offense is in motion again. It's another first down for TCU at their 49.
Good read there by Max Duggan. That time the Dogs did bring linebacker pressure. We brought Smile Munden. We were man-to-man behind it. Just a quick out route there by Wiley. We had to come down from our safety position to make the play.
Duggan with the ball, pressure from the edges. Oh my gosh! Drilled chest to chest by Michael Williams. Came in from his left. Duggan stepped up in the pocket, and number 13 just had a nasty collision with him back at the 40.
Boy, Williams is growing up right in front of our eyes here in the last couple of games, but give the Georgia secondary tremendous credit. Nowhere for Max Duggan to go with that football. That sack is on the Georgia secondary with a little redemption after the busted coverage.
Spot the ball on the 41, loss of 8, 2nd down and 18 for the Horned Frogs back on their 41. Duggan up and ready to go again. Quick throw out in the right flat, and it's caught but quickly chased into the boundary. Corey Wren, a junior from New Orleans, chased out by Kamari Lassiter. That was more of a lateral play than anything else, and they're going to call it a gain of about a half a yard, I guess, just shy of the 42 for TCU, and it's going to be 3rd and long, and that's the way quarter number 1 will end. What a quarter by the Bulldogs. My goodness gracious. 17-7. The Dogs lead TCU. 1 quarter of play in the national championship in the books. Quarter number 2 coming up. Don't go anywhere on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Our engineer is Adam Gillespie. Luke Nadkarni in our network studios. And 15 minutes is in the books. Georgia leading TCU here in the national championship game 17-7. TCU football, but 3rd down and a long way to go. 3rd down and 17. They've got the ball on their own 42. Now they'll be coming toward us here in the left end zone as we watch it. TCU in white jerseys, Georgia in red. Snap it back to Duggan. He throws it from the pocket, finds Davis open at the 50, and Davis about 4 yards after the catch. Darius Davis with the reception. Christopher Smith, the tackle for Georgia, gets the ball into Bulldog territory. And the stop made at the Georgia 47, but it's going to be 4th down and about 6 yards to go for TCU from there.
And Dogs absolutely fine with that soft zone coverage, sit at the sticks, force the throw underneath, and then come up and make a good solid open field tackle. Only rushed 4 on that one.
Jordy Sandy, the punter, is in the game to kick it away from just beyond midfield. Georgia back deep with a man, Kearis Jackson, inside the 10. Sandy will try to angle it, the coffin corner, but Kieris will make the fair catch about 2 yards inside the 10-yard line, a 39-yard pooch punt, and Jackson makes the catch at the 8, and that's where Georgia's offense will go back to work. So 3 series, 2 touchdowns, and a field goal for Georgia in those 3 series thus far.
Yeah, worst starting field position of the day here for the Dogs. Very least here, you want to get a couple of first downs, just flip that field position back into your favor, but Dogs right now rolling offensively. Stetson Bennett very patient, working within the system right now. 8 out of 9, 121 yards, 1 touchdown. The overall Dogs, 174 total yards in that first quarter.
Dogs on their own 8, and we'll hand it off to Milton. And the Fresno, California native bounces out to the right, stays in tight at right guard and right tackle, and up to the 10-yard line, a 2-yard gain. The strong side linebacker D. Winters, who had a terrific game against Michigan last week, makes the tackle. Devin Willock is in the ball game as one of our linemen. He's in at left guard right now, so we've used Mims and McClendon and now Willock in the ball game. Everybody else remains the same. Excuse me, Z.
Now just a dive there from the Dogs, trying to get a little more breathing room coming out of the shadow of their goal line.
Run out of the pistol now. Play fake to McIntosh. Naked boot to the right. Bennett throws on the run. Caught at the 20 by Brock Bowers, the tight end. Tackled by Travius Hodges-Tomlinson. Right on the 20, maybe a smidge beyond. But the gain is 10 and a first down for the Bulldogs. 1st and 10 right on the 20. Ball's on the near hash. And Georgia moving to our right as we view it here at SoFi Stadium.
Great
17-7, Georgia leads.
Sorry, Scott. Great ball fake there by Stetson Bennett, just on the naked to get outside and contain.
Here's Bennett now, back in the shotgun, takes the snap, deep ball. Bowers makes the catch, waist high, with his back to the other goal line at the 50. He was backpedaling down the field, and Stetson put it right on his belt buckle. Hodge makes the stop, but Georgia goes for 35 yards on the pass play to the TCU 45.
We had 2 receivers on that side. They both ran post. Brock Bowers, from his wing position, runs a wheel route. Great job of clearing the zone for Brock. Good eyes there by Stetson Bennett. Everything was to his left. At the last minute, he comes back and finds Brock on his right.
We'll run it with Kendall Milton trying to bounce out right. Linebacker shoots the gap. Winters wraps up Milton around the legs. And after that's going to be a loss on the play of almost a yard. Back just across the 45, closer to the 46 of the Horned Frogs. So Milton loses a yard there. TCU hasn't been able to cover Brock Bowers just yet, Z. He's got 4 catches for 78 yards already.
Yeah, we wanted to get him involved in the game early against this TCU defense. We knew he had some shots at getting open, and Coach Munkin not wasting any time getting 19 involved.
3 receivers left, 1 to the right for Bennett. He wants to go one-on-one to the right to A.D. Mitchell. Pushing and shoving out of bounds on the near sideline. No flag. Pass is incomplete. A little bit high. Mitchell tried to jump and get one hand on the ball. Dog fans thought there was some pass interference there. There was a lot of contact, but it was the Thorpe Award winner, Hodges-Tomlinson, in coverage on A.D.
Boy, great coverage right there. Not a whole lot or many places you could put the football. It was a good job by Stetson getting that football into a position that only his guy was going to catch it if the catch was going to be made.
Ball just outside the TCU 45. Dogs moving to our right. 3rd down and 10 to go. 3 receivers to the left and 2 to the right. We go with an empty set. Bennett talks to his line, now backs up in the shotgun. Snap it back. Rolls out to the left to avoid the corner rush. Bennett's going to run. He's to the 40, to the 35. He dives for the first down. He got it.
Boy, what a play right there by Stetson Bennett. He changed the play at the line of scrimmage. At the snap, knew he wasn't going to be protected on that weak side. Reverses out to his left, and then the athleticism. Last week, we saw Stetson in a very similar play trying to throw that football. He was over the line of scrimmage. Today, no indecision on his part. Saw TCU was man-to-man, knew he had green grass, and I love the head-first dive to get the first down.
He got 13 yards. He outran D. Winters to the spot, avoiding the pressure from the edge. Got the first down. Georgia on the TCU 33, 1st and 10. Ball's on the far hash. Dogs stack up a couple of receivers to the left and wide to the right. will hand it off to Kenny McIntosh. Runs to the right with 2 blockers in front of him. And he runs into that pile. The blockers both knocked to the ground, and McIntosh goes with him. Hodges will get credit for the tackle for the TCU defense. I don't believe there's going to be any gain on the play, as we tried to run it around the right edge. McClendon, one of the blockers. He's going to come out now, and Mims will go back in at right tackle.
Now, TCU right now getting very aggressive, just pressing linebackers. There was a linebacker dog there right into Georgia's B gap that clogged up any kind of running space there.
No gain on the play, 2nd and 10. Edwards is checked into the backfield. Play fake, Bennett in the pocket. Quick throw, right side to Dejon out of the backfield. Makes the catch at the 30 to the near sideline, and down he goes to the 25-yard line. The linebacker Winters doing all he can to stay up with him to push him out of bounds at the 25.
More linebacker pressure there from TCU. The Dogs do a good job of picking that up, and then a nice job there knowing his protection was going to break down at some point as Stetson getting the football again to his check down, but out of his hand quickly.
Got 8 yards. We'll hand it off to Dejon. He spins away from the first contact, spins down inside the 20 to about the 18-yard line. Winters and Mark Perry, the strong safety, converge to make the hit for the TCU defense. It's a first down for Georgia at the Horned Frog 18-yard line. The Dogs way down to the far right end of the field in the Massey-Ferguson red zone. Experience the compact utility tractors that will take you through the season strong.
With the patience and the discipline right now from the Dogs, Dejon Edwards, the entire left side of the TCU front collapsed there. TCU had one guy on the outside. Instead of trying to beat him outside, Dejon said, I'm going to take what you're giving me, and just took that north and south.
Split backfield, handed off to the right side back. McIntosh with Bowers on the left side, and Kenny Mack runs into the photographers on the far side of the field. He had a full sprint going. He got to the 8. Let's make it the 7. They spot him on the 7. He had a full head of steam, and he had to hurdle photographers about 5 yards deep out of bounds on that far sideline. But Kenny Mack inside the 10 down to the 7. He got 11 on the carry, and it's goal to go for the Dogs.
Well, TCU played that pretty well, actually. That's just the speed of McIntosh to get outside and contain when TCU was actually in a pretty good position to make a play.
He had Bowers as the lead blocker in that split backfield. Bennett's going to take it and stroll into the end zone. Touchdown!
Student body left, snap it to my athletic quarterback, get a couple of lead blockers out. TCU acts like they've never seen that play before in their life as nobody was there.
No white shirts in the area code. Bennett just zipped it right over to Muscle Beach and scored easily, trotting into the end zone, standing up, and the Dogs add 6 more. It's 23-7.
Boy, we had 2 blockers out in front of Stetson. It was Broderick Jones, and then Milton was out there as well. There wasn't even a white jersey to block.
That's a couple of scoring plays now where TCU has just given up wide open, easy scores. One to was McConkey a few plays ago, and now that one to Stetson Bennett. Nobody there to stop him. Point after try by Pod is good. 24-7, second quarter, 8:30 to go in the national championship game.
Only 85 miles from Atlanta, this lakeside destination has game-changing views and luxury accommodations at the Ritz-Carlton Reynolds Lake Oconee. So, what are you waiting for? Go long for a getaway to Lake Oconee at visitlakeoconee.com today.
Yes, that's me, Kirby Smart, driving around town in a Ford F-150 pickup. Its comfortable, roomy interior and great tech are why it's my trusted daily driver. F-150 has the power to tackle the biggest jobs, but I depend on it to secure my most important cargo, my family. See your local Ford dealer and check out Ford F-150, the official truck of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
Go Dogs!
In SEC sports, the ifs come at you every minute. What if your QB had released the ball a second earlier? What if the head coach hadn't used his last time out? What if your team goes all the way this season? If you love the tradition, if you live for the rivalry, if you can't wait each week for the absolute edge of your seat action, Regions is right there with you as the official bank of the SEC.
Regions can't help you with the ifs in sports. Regions helps you embrace the if in life.
Member FDIC.
Back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here in Los Angeles. Georgia 24, TCU 7. We're in the second quarter, about midway through. They had the ball down on the 18-yard line after that return by Davis, but they moved it up to the 20 now during the timeout. So 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Horned Frogs. Max Duggan behind his offensive line, about 5-6 yards in the shotgun. Goes empty set. 3 receivers to his right, 2 to his left. Snap is a little bit low. He fields it cleanly. Duggan with time. Now pulls it down, wants to run. We'll close in on him at the 21 with a couple of our linemen, or one lineman and a linebacker, Logue and Chambliss, make the stop. Zion Logue, the first guy to get to him, and then Chaz came over and added his finishing touch. And the gain is, they'll call it 2 at the 22-yard line for TCU.
TCU went empty. Dogs went man free there, but stayed with a spy on Duggan, so he takes off. We've got somebody there.
They hand it off, run it wide to the right side out near the numbers. That'll be DeMarcado that cuts in at the numbers back towards the hash. We stop him shy of the 30, but let's check a penalty marker on the field.
Holding, offense, number 56, 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
They were holding Zion Logue on that play, and it was by Alon Ali, the center, a senior from Fort Worth. Walthour made the stop. And Chambliss. But the holding play will back up TCU back to the 15-yard line.
Boy, good to see Chaz Chambliss back in this football game as well.
Indeed, the Dogs are a little thin there. 2nd down for the Horned Frogs, and 15 back on their 15-yard line. They'll throw it wide to the near side. A reaching catch is made around the 20. Tay Barber was open, but he's quickly thrust into the boundary on this near side into the Georgia bench. Out of bounds, chased there by Javon Bullard, the sophomore from Milledgeville, Georgia. And they'll mark him at the 23-yard line, a gain of 8.
Yeah, Dogs there, 2nd and long, played cover 2. Just trying to keep the football in front of you and come up and make a sure tackle and keep them in a 3rd and long situation. Exactly what they wanted to do.
3rd down and 7 from the 23 for TCU, their own 23-yard line. They're on the near hash coming this way to our left. Duggan back in the shotgun with one back. Snap it back. Defender flies over a blocker, and then he throws it downfield. It's intercepted by Christopher Smith. Over the shoulder interception. No, it's Bullard. Bullard intercepted the football for the Dogs. They'll tackle him back at the Georgia 19-yard line.
Boy, Dogs rolled to cover 2. Quentin Johnson was running wide open down the middle of the field. That's just a bad throw by Max Duggan. If that ball is put on the line, Quentin Johnson's catching that one and might score, but that football floated on him. And give the Dogs defensive front, especially Dumas Johnson, credit. He was the one applying pressure, made Max Duggan slide a little bit in the pocket, and he launched it right into the waiting arms of Bullard.
Dumas Johnson came on a blitz. His blocker went low, and Jamon just dove right over the top of him. That forced Duggan out of his sweet spot. He had to throw it before he wanted to. And the end result is an interception. 2nd turnover of the game for TCU. Dogs take over. They said initially around the 20. They've readjusted the ball up to the 34. Handoff and the end around to Brock Bowers. He'll try to fight off a blocker near the 45. That man will bring him down. That's Mark Perry swinging wide to the left. And Bowers will pick up the 1st down yardage. And the Dogs are moving again back towards midfield. Let's check in with Shock on the sidelines, brought to you by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. DJ.
Guys, that last defensive drive, you can watch the defensive line are doing a good job of pushing. You mentioned them having a spy, but they're doing a good job of pushing through the middle, but to a point, so that now when he takes off, they can go get him. So nice job defensively putting the pressure on him.
Dogs go from the 34 to the 44 on the end around to Bowers. A gain of 10, 1st and 10 for Georgia. At our 44-yard line, Milton in the backfield with Bennett. And we'll hand it off to Kendall. He bounces out right side, edge of the logo, running with his pads low across midfield, bullying his way into Horned Frog territory. Tackled by Jamoy Hodge as he crossed the 50 and down to the 47-yard line.
TCU right now in this 3-3-5 alignment, allowing us to get to the edge whenever we want. They're trying to get contained with their outside linebackers, but because they're 3 or 4 yards off the ball, they are easy seal blocks the Dogs have right now with our big tight ends in this football game. We just saw it in the last sweep by Brock Bowers. We saw it again there. Dogs at will able to get outside and on the edge.
Unbalanced line to the right after that 9-yard gain. And we'll hand it off to Milton straight ahead. Not much there this time. Timon Mitchell, the former Bulldog, junior from Nashville, Tennessee, to clog up the middle. And that'll keep us shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd and a yard to go. No gain on the play for Milton. Dogs try to go hurry up. 3rd and 1 from the 47. Play fake. Bennett throws it wide left. Arian Smith makes the catch at the 47. They trip him up as he falls across the 45 to about the 44. Bud Clark got a hand on his legs, but he gets enough for the first down.
Great open field tackle there by Clark. If not, Smith was about to go take that one to the house. Clark able to go dive at 11's legs and able to just barely trip him up, but not enough to thwart the first down. And Dogs, fresh set of downs and back in business.
He would have taken it to the house and had time to clean it before TCU could have caught him. Dogs 1st and 10 at the Horned Frog 44. Snap it back to Bennett in the shotgun to Kenny Mack. Big hole middle of the line, and he'll hit the 35. They'll trip him up there. He had a full head of steam again. They got him with a swipe across the legs, and he tumbles down to the 31-yard line. Millard Bradford may have saved a touchdown on that play.
Great block there by Darnell Washington. It was an inside trap and a big block there by Truss as well, but Darnell came from the right side, just came across the formation there for the kick-out block. Huge hole opened up, and this Dogs O-line taking over the football game.
13 yards for Mack, number 6. The lone setback now. Stett goes under center. They bring Rosemy Jackson in tight at left side. Handoff, McIntosh breaks the tackle at the 30, angles to the left outside the numbers. They'll wrap him up around the 24, but let's check a flag in the Georgia backfield.
Holding. Offense number 0. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Now, Darnell, you don't need to hold. You're so big and massive. They get it on Washington, and that'll back the Dogs up, wipe out the play. It was more like sheer domination, really. It wasn't really a hold. As we looked at the replay, Washington just engulfed his man.
Well, he gave him a little throw to the ground, too, which is what instigated the flag. But you're right. Not really a hold. It's just more get out of my way.
Ball back on the 41 now. First down for the Dogs. We'll run it with Dejon Edwards sweeping wide to the right, trying to cut the corner. And they'll go down shy of the 35 at the 36. Johnny Hodges, a junior from Darnesville, Maryland, makes the tackle. He was their leading tackler coming into the ball game. And second team All Big 12 performer, a transfer from Navy. Dogs with a second down coming up. Second down 15 now at the 36 of TCU. Moving to our right and leading by a score of 24-7. Looking for more. Bennett with a long ball to the far corner. Going out of bounds around the 1, and out of bounds is the call. I think the ball was caught by McConkey, but he did not stay in bounds. Down around the 1 or the 2-yard line in the far right corner. Hodges Tomlinson with coverage for TCU.
Well, Hodges Thompson did a good job of pushing Ladd into the sideline. There was no place to throw that go route. A receiver on his stem as he takes that route upfield has got to allow about 3 or 4 yards to the outside. You're going against one of the best lockdown corners in all of college football, though. Tough task on both fronts, but Dogs not scared to go on the attack.
Georgia on the Frogs 36. Third down and 15 to go. McIntosh in the backfield with Stetson. Bennett in the pocket with time. Throws it down the hash. Caught by Bowers at the 20. He's angling right. He's still driving. He's dragging 3 men down to the 12.
A bullet by Stetson Bennett in traffic right down the middle of the field on a deep in route by Bowers. That ball had some giddy up on it in the soft hands of Brock Bowers, able to bring it in, and then you just can't bring him down.
24 yards strike down to the 12. Dogs in the Massey Ferguson red zone looking for more. Leading with less than 2 minutes now to play in the half, 24-7 over TCU here in the national championship.
Boy, Dogs very conscious about getting Brock Bowers through last week. 45 minutes, 3 quarters of play. He had 1 catch for 17 yards, no carries. Today, through the first 28 minutes now, 5 catches for 100 yards.
Georgia.
He's got 2 runs for 15 more yards, 115 total yards of offense from number 19. Talk about getting him involved in the biggest game of the year.
Those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Georgia Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
They're not just the Bulldogs, they're your Bulldogs. Customize your Wells Fargo debit card or open an account today and show your Bulldog pride with every purchase. Get started at wellsfargo.com/customize. Wells Fargo is proud to be an official sponsor of the Georgia Bulldogs. Copyright 2022. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
You're listening to coverage of the College Football Playoff National Championship on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
The BMW i4 M50. It's 100% electric and 100% BMW. Experience the power of over 500 horses stampeding at a whisper as BMW M-engineered handling takes you through every twist and turn. The complete suite of intuitive technology keeps you connected. The pure performance keeps your heart racing. The BMW i4 M50. Silence has never said so much. BMW, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Visit BMWATL.com for great offers. Go Dogs!
The Dogs are back in their rightful place atop of the list of the greatest teams in college football history. This is Kenny Mullins for the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 613. And we know a little something about greatness. For over 100 years, our electricians have been lighting up Athens and building the things that make the Georgia Bulldogs the envy of college football. If you work in the construction industry, join our team. Visit IBEW613.org.
Stay tuned for the Breda Pest Management halftime report with Hondo coming up. Halftime protected by Breda Pest Management. With Breda, you don't have to be afraid of bugs or frogs. Georgia, goal to go on the 1. 11th play of the drive coming up. Dogs on the doorstep trying to get to 30 points here in the first half. Back and forth is Bowers. Bennett back in the shotgun. Handoff, Milton lowers the shoulder, drives into the end zone. Touchdown, Dogs.
Boy, just too easy right there. Just off tackle to the right side of the Georgia offensive line behind Mims and Ratledge. And Mims and Ratledge just blowing Horned Frogs off the ball.
My goodness, that hole was enormous on the right side at right tackle. And all Milton had to do was get low and dive in there, and he hit the black in the end zone. And it's 30-7, Georgia, with Pod's kick to come. Podlesny will step it off. Bennett the holder. William Mote snaps it back. The placement is good, and the kick is good. And the result is absolutely wonderful. 31-7, Georgia leads. The Dogs went 66 yards and 11 plays in 5 minutes and 15 seconds. A 1-yard plunge by Kendall Milton, one of the home state kids on this Georgia team. And the Dogs are up 31-7. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered.
Well, this is where the Dogs struggled last week against Ohio State. We go in and score. Ohio State just comes roaring right back down the field. Obviously, the Dogs in control of this one right now, but TCU, they're familiar with this spot and being behind in football games. Maybe not against the caliber teams of Georgia, but TCU's not going to go flinch. Important here for the Dogs to finish this half, especially after the struggles we had last week against Ohio State in this 2-minute defensive look.
Dogs have scored 21 in a row. TCU will have 1:19 to try to do something before the end of the half. And then Georgia will get the ball to start the second half. Pod's kick, angling left, high and spinning, will come down in the end zone. Darius Davis will run it out to the 10, to the 15. He avoids two men, still angling to the near side. Tries to get to the corner. We stretch it out, cover it pretty well. And he returns it from the far side of the field to this near sideline and chased out of bounds by Keely Ringo right around the 20 or the 21-yard line. Let's see where they put the final spot down. That took about 7 seconds for the Horned Frogs, a minute 12 to go, and they'll put it right on the 20. What a half by the Dogs here in the national championship game. We've scored every time we've touched the football. It's 31-7. But as Z said, TCU not going anywhere, and they will go right back to work here on this possession. Snap it back to Duggan. With time in the pocket, moves, throws it over the middle, just a safety valve there. He dumps it over the line of scrimmage to Imani Bailey, a reserve running back. Smile Munden makes the hit, makes the tackle after only a 1.5, 2-yard throw to the 22.
Again, covered by the Georgia secondary, fantastic there.
Let's see if they do it again. Duggan gonna go down. Yeah, it was pretty good that time. So was the line play. Bear Alexander got his claws into Max Duggan and eats a Horned Frog alive back inside the 15.
Boy, great pressure right there. Dogs brought safety pressure.
Timeout. Georgia.
Dogs brought safety pressure with Javon Bullard there. Just collapsed the inside of that TCU offensive line. Then wisely here calling a timeout with a chance here potentially with a stop right now. And Dogs do have one more timeout to get the football back in pretty good field position.
Loss of 10 on that sack by Duggan, or of Duggan rather. And I've got that as 3, even though it only says 2 on our stat monitor. But Duggan goes down with 42 seconds to go. The Dogs call the time, as Z pointed out. Bear Alexander with the sack, and it's going to be 3rd down and 18 from the 12 for the Horned Frogs with less than a minute to go in the quarter.
Boy, quite a first half here, Scott, by Bear Alexander. He has been a force in the middle of this defense. Just another young dog making his statement and growing up in front of our eyes on the game's biggest stage.
And maybe a bigger stake for Bear. He's from Denton, Texas, playing against one of his home state teams. Snap it back on 3rd and a mile. Duggan from the 2 will throw it all the way across the field. It's picked up by Bullardy. Bullard got it again. Bullard picked it and then tumbled. He had a touchdown, would have had a big 6, but after the interception, he tumbled down right around the 15-yard line. Javon Bullard's got 2 interceptions in the game.
Boy, Dogs sat back, almost a Tampa 2 there, and Bullard able to go read the eyes of Duggan. Saw it all the way again. Duggan having to get rid of that football a little before he wanted to, but Javon Bullard having nothing at all to do with that, in perfect position, and the Dogs a chance to blow this thing wide open at the end of the first half.
Well, I was way off on the spot. They bring it back to the 22. I thought he was down to the 15 when he tumbled down. But back at the 22-yard line for Georgia with 36 seconds to go in the first half. The Dogs are up 31-7. Trying to step on the jugular here. Bennett in the shotgun. Snap it back. Stett. Will he go for the end zone? He will. And broken up right on the goal line. Wow. Nice play, TCU, as Bud Clark knocked it away from A.D. Mitchell right on the goal line between the hash marks. Good throw by Bennett, but a better defensive play.
Yeah, great defensive play there. That's where TCU is vulnerable. The inside seam route. Had a man over the top of him, so A.D. Mitchell broke that into a post. That ball maybe thrown just a hair behind where he needed to throw it for Stetson. But again, really, really good defensive play by TCU.
From the 22, 2nd and 10 for the Dogs. 32 seconds to go. Bennett to throw. Right angle, one-on-one coverage, and caught, I think. Yeah, touchdown, Mitchell. He's still fighting the guy. TCU ended up with the ball when they came out of the pile, but the officials say touchdown.
Boy, that was a 50-50 ball there. A.D. Mitchell going up, did a great job of giving Stetson Bennett plenty of room on the outside. He goes up, able to use his body and then haul that football in. Came down with it. Good call there on the replay that we just saw. I'm sure they're going to look at it again, though.
I think they already did. I think the official just said it was confirmed. It's a touchdown. 22 yards on the strike. Talk about a big play receiver, A.D. Mitchell. All he does is score games in playoffs and championships.
Boy, something else. Getting him back in after being out for the majority of the year, fighting through an injury. He has been a difference maker in the semifinal game and already a difference maker here.
37-7. Dogs pouring it on heavily here in the first half of the national championship. Point after try by Jackpot Lesney is coming up with 26 seconds to go in the second quarter. Snap back, placement, hold is good, kick is good. 38-7, roll it over. My goodness gracious. Dogs cash in on the third turnover of the half by TCU. Another Javon Bullard interception. 2 plays, 22 yards, and a 22-yard scoring strike. Stet to AD for the touchdown. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered.
Boy, what a first half for this Georgia offense and for this Georgia defense. Outside of one blown coverage, Georgia defensively has had TCU's number, and the game plan by Coach Monken and this offensive staff just absolutely flawless. Already in one half of play, 371 total yards for the Dogs, 223 through the air, 148 on the ground. Defensively, the Horned Frogs only able to muster with this high-powered offense 112 yards here in this first half, 97 through the air, 15 on the ground. Dogs on top in every area.
And that is your, that is your Ag South, Ag Georgia, and Southwest Georgia Farm Credit Loans for Land and Farms second quarter update. Pods kick into the far corner of the end zone. TCU wants to run it out with the dangerous Darius Davis. He hasn't gotten loose yet, but not a bad return that time up across the 25. And we hit him around the 27-yard line with Malachi Starks and Nyland Green. 21 seconds to go. TCU down 38-7. Georgia's hit their game scoring average just about here in the first half. We average 39 points a game. We've got 38.
Boy, quick strike there from the Dogs. 2 plays, 22 yards, only had the ball for 10 seconds.
They'll spot it on the 26, and I think TCU uses a timeout here with 21 seconds to go. I mean, I know TCU is a comeback team, but this would be an epic comeback to crawl out of the grave and catch Georgia in this instance. 38-7. And the Dogs will get the ball to start the second half. And you know the message in the locker room, what it's going to be. There is no scoreboard.
There is no scoreboard. And Kirby will remind this football team that this TCU team has made a living this year. They are here because they found ways to have miraculous comebacks in football games. Now, never this kind of a lead, but make no mistake, the way the Dogs just called that series, we have our foot on the gas, and we're going to keep going. There's not going to be any ounce of let up from this Georgia team, knowing what TCU is capable of doing.
Well, I know there's another half to go, but we're trying to finish like we started against Oregon by scoring on 7 straight possessions. Georgia scored on 6 straight here in the first half.
Yeah, it has just been a flawless performance from Georgia offensively. Stetson Bennett, early in this football game, very patient, staying within the offense. That started to open up some as we've gone through this first half. But the Georgia offensive line has been dominant as well. Dogs running the football well.
Duggan from the 26 will hand it off. They'll run it straight ahead. A safe play with Imani Bailey. And Jalen Carter makes the tackle, the junior from Apopka, Florida, and the All-American. TCU trying to go quickly here. 7. They'll try to get one more play off. 5 seconds to go. They will. They'll get another snap, and they'll run it again with Bailey. He'll try to bounce outside, and we'll sling him down to the turf. Still not quite down. Now he is, and that's the end of the half. We got him at about the 32 or the 33-yard line. Wow. What a 30 minutes of football by your reigning national champion Georgia Bulldogs, going for back-to-backs here. Halftime score 38-7. Georgia leading TCU, and I don't know what else can be said about this.
It was just dominant. Every phase of the game outside of one play where Georgia busted a coverage, outside of one play, just a flawless performance in all aspects of the game. And even Georgia right now coming off the field, the leadership on this team telling everybody to stay calm, stay focused. We got a lot more, and we're going to need more, knowing how this TCU team is going to continue to fight.
We're going to catch up with the coach for a couple of quick seconds with Shock, who's on the field. We're waiting our turn. They're going to talk with television first, but and we'll look at the numbers. Hondo will at the Breda Pest Management halftime report, and Z's going to give you some more analysis on the breakdown of how Georgia has gotten to this point. Just an epic first half by the Dogs. And let's go down to the field, and Shock and the coach is brought to you by Zaxby's. DJ.
371 yards, 19 first downs. Why were you so efficient on offense?
Really good offensive plan and the ability to run the ball and throw the ball vertical. It's not over.
Yeah, that's the exact thing I was saying. What's the message to them? TCU's live on coming back in the second half. What's the message to them?
Keep our foot on the pedal, man. I mean, we didn't come here to play soft, to play fast.
This is head coach Kirby Smart. It's my job to coach the fundamentals of football and prepare my guys for the future. Well, my friends at Southeast Mortgage are preparing you for your future by becoming a homeowner. Every Bulldog deserves a home. If you're in the market to purchase or refinance, I trust Southeast Mortgage to provide the best experience and get it done. Visit southeastmortgage.com/UGA to get pre-approved for your home loan today. Southeast Mortgage, the official home loan lender of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Southeast Mortgage of Georgia Incorporated, NMLS, number 103956, Georgia Residential Mortgage License number 6578.
Some natural gas providers rely on a playbook full of trick plays, like introductory rates and hidden payment fees. Before you know it, you're paying more than you bargained for. You need a strong defense against these schemes and misdirections. After 20 years of providing natural gas to homes and businesses across Georgia, Walton Gas has a winning game plan that puts you first. It's about straightforward rate plans, ongoing value, and a customer experience that is sure to beat the competition. Call Walton Gas or visit waltongas.com to learn more about Georgia's most trusted natural gas provider. And as always, go Dogs!
With the Kroger Plus card, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. And for every dollar you spend, you earn fuel points, which can add up to $1 per gallon off at the pump for the win. Plus, save every day on groceries and get personalized digital coupons for the win. The Kroger Plus card, all you do is win. Big, big savings. Sign up now at Kroger.com and start saving. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
This copyrighted broadcast is an exclusive presentation of Learfield and JMI Sports under the broadcast rights granted by the University of Georgia. Reuse of this presentation is prohibited without the expressed written consent of the University of Georgia, Learfield, and JMI Sports. Announcers are provided by Learfield and JMI Sports and approved by the University of Georgia.
All right, back ready for the second half. Let's take a look at some second half adjustments brought to you by Visit Lake Oconee. Visit Lake Oconee, Atlanta's lakeside destination, 75 miles away. Z, what adjustments does Georgia need to make, if any, here for the final two quarters?
Yeah, absolutely none. If anything, you're going to have to counterpunch off of adjustments that TCU is going to have to make. But if you're the Dogs, that was about as flawless a performance outside of one busted coverage you can have. Just keep the pedal down.
Here's TCU's second half kickoff. Georgia will watch it sail into the end zone, 8 yards deep. And the Dogs will take the touchback and go back to work. 6 possessions, 6 scores in the first half by Georgia, 38-7 to start quarter number 3 as we rejoin you from the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. National championship on the line. Dogs are 30 minutes away from it. Let's check in with Shock on the sidelines, brought to you by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. DJ.
Hey, fellas, the message in the locker room was simple. He said, the first thing he said, what's the score? Obviously 0-0. He said he wants to stay aggressive, but he said you got 30 minutes to be legendary, but they're going to keep the pedal down and try to finish it.
All right, legendary play number 1 of the second half. Kenny McIntosh fights off a blocker at the 26-yard line. As he angles to the right, they crunch him at the 31. Winters and Hodges, the linebackers, for TCU, but the gain is 6, and it'll be 2nd and 4 for the Bulldogs as Georgia doesn't start out with any severe urgency here in the second half. They huddle. They take time to look to the sideline, let the clock tick down. About 15 seconds now as Stet is back in the shotgun. With Kenny Mack to his left, we shift the tight end Bowers to the left, and now run it to the right with McIntosh again, trying to angle in there behind the blocking of Jones and Truss and Bowers. And not much there to the 31, maybe the 32. Got about a half a yard. Terrell Cooper, a defensive end, made the tackle.
And like everything else there in the first half, Dogs fantastic on third down. 4 out of 5 on third down conversions.
Dogs want to stay aggressive. At least that's the message here in the second half. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now they bring a man in motion across the formation left. Go back the other way, and the pass is broken up at the 39-yard line. Tried to go to A.D. Mitchell, and he had Hodges Tomlinson draped all over him. He broke up the ball and prevented Georgia from getting the first down. We're going to see Brett Thorson for the first time in the ballgame to punt it away for the Dogs.
Boy, just great coverage there by Hodges Tomlinson. Dogs had exactly what they wanted. Got A.D. Mitchell one-on-one with him on the backside. TCU tried to bring linebacker pressure. If we catch that, we're probably taking it to the house.
Darius Davis, the return man. Thorson kicks it the extreme opposite way of where he is. He gets a good Georgia bounce at the TCU 37-yard line. That ball's still bouncing 18, maybe even 19 yards after it touched the turf, and it angles out of bounds right at the 20. It wasn't long in the air, but the end result was a 48-yard return, and you kept it away from the most dangerous guy on the field as a return man. But there is a flag. The officials are huddling back at the Georgia 40-yard line right now. So let's check a call after a penalty marker thrown on the play. Our officiating crew tonight from the ACC. The referee is Jeff Heiser.
During the kick, holding, receiving team. Ball be placed, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, that's a maddening penalty. That ball was nowhere near the return. And the holding penalty on TCU will back them up 10. Yeah, Darius Davis is an extremely dangerous return guy. He's got 6 return touchdowns in his TCU career.
And the Dogs were making sure he wasn't even going to come close to getting to that one. That was a little slight rollout to Thorson's right, but that was an angled kick as far away from him as you could possibly get.
So the Dogs go 3 and out for the first time in the game. TCU now backed up deep on their own 10-yard line after the holding penalty on the exchange of possession. 1st and 10 from the 10. And the handoff goes straight ahead for a yard to DeMercado. Running it between the tackles, Nazir Stackhouse making the tackle for the Dogs defense. The gain is a yard to the 11th, 2nd down and 9 for the Horned Frogs.
DeMercado had 33 yards in the first half running the football. TCU only 24 as a team, has Duggan through a handful of sacks, minus 20 total yards.
Well over 200 yards rushing against Michigan in their other playoff game. Duggan from the pocket will fire to the right sideline, and it's caught by the tight end Jared Wiley and tackled immediately by Robert Beal, the linebacker from Duluth, Georgia. And the tackle takes him out of bounds at the 15-yard line, a pickup of 4. And it's going to be 3rd down and 5 for the Frogs from their own 15.
TCU 1 out of 5 on the first half. Like the Dogs, everything pretty positive. TCU struggled in about every area you could struggle in.
Dogs with 2 men with their hands on the turf. Everybody else upright. They throw and broken up at the 21. Trying to go to Quentin Johnston on a quick slant. Tyke Smith in coverage and did a fine job of keeping the ball out of the hands of number 1. And it's incomplete and brings up 4th down.
TCU fans wanted pass interference there. Tyke Smith got there just a hair early. Dogs fortunate that a flag didn't come out on that one, but Dogs defense do their job, and Dogs now going to get the football back in pretty good field position, or we should.
Here's Sandy to punt it away. Fair catch called for by Kieris, and Jackson makes the grab at the Bulldogs 45. So a short field to work with for the Georgia offense when we continue. A 40-yard punt, no return, and a timeout here in Los Angeles. along with Eric Zier, Scott Howard back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at SoFi Stadium. The Governor's Office of Highway Safety says the penalty for getting a DUI can cost up to $10,000, and that's why the Governor's Office of Highway Safety says drive sober so you won't get pulled over. First and 10, Dogs at the 45.
Yeah, and Dogs pretty close to the vest there on that first series. See if we continue to just try to ground and pound and run clock or get it opened up again.
Play fake Milton. Bennett going to roll right, throw a short dump pass ahead to Brock Bowers. Breaks away from an arm tackle in TCU territory. Still going down the near sideline at the 30, the 29, the 28, and forced out of bounds around the 27-yard line. He broke away from the free safety, Bud Clark, and then was off for the races. The defensive end, Horton, had to chase him down. But Bowers, they say he stepped out of bounds or went out of bounds around the 27-yard line. That's a scan of energy first down for the Dogs. We go quickly. Hand off to Kendall Milton. Breaks away from one arm tackle up high. Almost looked like they grabbed his face mask, and I think that's what he's saying. There's no flag. And they finally stop him where? At the 22-yard line. Bud Clark with the tackle. They did grab his face mask. I just saw a replay, but there was no flag on it.
Boy, did they ever. Yanked his head around still. Good job keeping his balance. Get a solid gain there on first down, but go back to the Brock Bowers catch. That's just a little bootleg out to the right, and it was a block by Darnell Washington that sprung Brock Bowers down the sideline to get the Dogs back in scoring position once again.
That was a 22-yard gain, and then a 5-yard run by Milton. Bennett to throw. Oh, off the hands of the intended target, Dejon Edwards. That might be one of the first things that's gone wrong for the Georgia offense today. Edwards couldn't hang on to the ball. He was open at the 19, and it's incomplete. The play to Brock Bowers was 28 yards, not 22. But Georgia nearing the Massey-Ferguson red zone here early in the third quarter, leading at 38-7, looking for more here on this possession. We've got 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Now we bring everybody in tight. We go with a bunch formation to the left. 2 tight ends that side. Bennett takes the snap in the shotgun, throws for the corner. Brock Bowers one-on-one. Caught! Touchdown! He ate him alive! Falls down into the end zone. 6 more for Georgia.
What a game Brock Bowers is having. We had that bunch formation and got him through that formation one-on-one with the matchup that we wanted. Just a fade route from an inside tight end alignment. And Brock Bowers, you get him one-on-one. I don't care who it's with. He's got the advantage. He's just so big and goes up with those strong hands and rips that one down, and Dogs pay dirt once again.
22-yard touchdown pass. Bennett put it in a perfect spot. He had one-on-one with his all-star tight end. And Bud Clark, no, it was Abe Kamara that time, the free safety. No match for number 19. Went up and got it. And it's 44-7. Now here's the point after try. Pod nails it perfectly, splits the pipes. It's 45-7. Bowers now 6 for 152 with a touchdown and 167 yards of total offense for the All-American tight end. Timeout here in Los Angeles. Our second half brought to you by First Franklin Financial, serving our neighbors since 1941. Georgia 45, TCU 7 on the Bulldogs Sports Network.
365 days a year, just call us up, we'll be right there. Our service is guaranteed.
In the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth, Georgia tacks on 7 more, 45-7 they lead. The drive was 55 yards in 4 plays in a minute 22, and the scoring play was a 22-yard touchdown pass, Stetson Bennett to Brock Bowers, the third for Stet in the ball game, the first touchdown catch for Bowers in this contest. 45-7 here in the third quarter. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered.
And Scott, with that touchdown, the TCU faithful really starting to thin out right now. You're starting to see empty seats. People clad in purple and white heading for the exits.
Pod's kick will come down right in the far corner of the end zone. Davis will try to return it. Look out, here he goes. And a flag comes in at the end of the play as Davis returns it up to the 30-yard line, maybe just beyond. Boy, he was determined that time. He ran through a couple of waves of red shirts before we finally got him down at the 31. But let's check a flag, and it's probably going to go against TCU the way the officials are acting.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 81, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Rosemy Jack Saint made the stop at the end of the play, and TCU backed up a little bit more. Georgia's defense trying to keep their fans entertained. They said, give us some noise down here on this end of the field. TCU will be backed up to the 18-yard line. $45-7, 10:46 to go third quarter in the national championship game. Handoff to DiMarcardo, tries to bounce out to the near side, crosses the 20 and runs into 2 or 3 red shirts as we hit him hard with Jamon Dumas Johnson and then knock him down with Keely Ringo. And the gain was from the 19 up to the 24-yard line. They spotted on the 25 actually, so call it a 7-yard gain.
Yeah, good strong run there by DiMarcardo, getting outside contained just on a zone run play.
Play fake Duggan now being chased. Runs away from 2 Georgia defenders. Going to angle out of bounds around the 30 or so. Stepped out into the Georgia boundary. Right on the 30, I believe, is where these ACC officials will mark that ball. He had 2 guys chasing him from his right side, and he just took off running and got what he could, and he got 5 yards and a first down.
Give DiMarcardo credit right there as well. Good block. I think it was on Smile Munden as Smile was coming in that allowed Max Duggan to get outside.
We've got Carter and Logue and Walthour across the front line with a linebacker Chambliss on the left side. Play fake Duggan, throws hard, a dart to the turf, falling down with the catch. At the 40 is Ja'Coria Spivey, the transfer from Mississippi State. He's from Monroe, Louisiana. And the gain up to the 40 is 10 more yards for the Horned Frogs. And another first down for TCU.
Dogs not letting up at all there. Corner fires. We brought Keely Ringo late in on a blitz from his corner position. So Dogs still pinning their ears back. We heard Kirby Smart saying that got to keep the pedal down. Exactly what they're doing on both sides of the ball.
Clock continues to run, now under 9 minutes to go in the quarter. Snap it back, play fake. Duggan throws the ball, caught backing out of bounds on this near sideline is Darius Davis. And he backs out just across the 45 of TCU. Well, they're taking it in small little pieces. 5 more yards for the Horned Frogs. It'll be second down and 5. Let's pause quickly, 10 seconds. Station ID on the Bulldogs Sports Network. Second down and 5 from the TCU 45 for the Frogs. They snap it back in the shotgun. Duggan dancing, now avoiding the rush of Brinson, being tackled as he throws. Incomplete, wide side of the field to the right. Trying to get it to DiMarcardo, and Michael Williams, who's having a nice game, was pulling him to the turf when he was trying to release the football. It ends up incomplete. It'll be third down and 5 for the Frogs.
Well, I have no idea how there wasn't a hold on TCU there. Not sure who that was that broke through the interior line of scrimmage, but we just got yanked down.
Third down, 5 for the Frogs. 1 for 6 on third down in this game for TCU. Snap it back. Duggan, quarterback draw. It pays the price. He stumbled, and Bear eats him alive. Bear Alexander with the tackle at the 41-yard line. Duggan tried a quarterback draw. He stumbled off his back foot. And, boy, he was bear meat at that point.
Boy, was he ever. Bear is having one fantastic football game. He has been a force in the middle of that defensive line all game long. Big sack right there, forcing TCU to punt. And Dogs, an opportunity here to pour it on a little bit more.
Lost 3, 4th and 8. Punt team on for the Horned Frogs. They snap it back to Sandy. He'll boom one. Long wobbly spiral. They surround Kieris. He makes the fair catch at the 16-yard line for Georgia. And we've got a timeout after the 42-yard punt. Georgia looking to continue the beatdown. It's the Dogs 45, TCU. Back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth here at SoFi Stadium. Let's get an injury update from DJ Shockley. He's on the sidelines, brought to you by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. Shock, what's happening?
Fellas, we're seeing a lot of Taki Smith here in the second half, but Javon Bullard, questionable return. He has a left shoulder. It looks like he's going to return, but he's questionable to come back in the ball game. But it happened after that interception he had to close out the second quarter.
All right, Shock, thanks very much. Yeah, Javon with 2 picks in that first half and injured after the second one. Let's hope for the best for him. Dogs from the 16 out of the pistol, run it with Dejon Edwards. Breaks the tackle at the 19, near sideline, across the 25, and chased into the Georgia bench at the 28-yard line by the linebacker D. Winters. But Georgia picks up a Scana Energy first down here with 7:25 remaining, third quarter, clock moving, and the Dogs just absolutely dominating 45-7.
And you could call out every member of that offensive line. Broderick Jones, Willick, Van Pran, Ratledge, McClendon, Brock Bowers with a big block there, as Dogs just blowing Horned Frogs off the football right now.
12-yard run for Edwards. He stays in the game. Dogs overload the right side now, and they fake the toss right and give it to McConkey on an end around to the left. Ladd to the 40, and they hit him there. If he breaks through and splits those 2 defenders, he's gone, but they get him down at the 42. Millard Bradford, the nickelback.
Boy, you show a little toss sweep to the right. You get the misdirection on the reverse to McConkey on the pitch, and Dogs easily. You had Bell out there blocking. You had Darnell Washington out there blocking. Dogs just chewing up clock now, chewing up yardage, putting a nail in this one.
14 yards on the run by McConkey, and a first down brought to you by Scana Energy. 1st and 10 from the 42. Play fake Bennett all year to throw, and he's got a man open, Arian Smith. He had it and then dropped it at the TCU 20 when he got hit by Abe Kamara, the free safety.
Boy, if there's anything that you want to see there is for Stetson Bennett to flatten that throw out and bring Arian Smith, kind of flatten him out on his route as well. Stetson threw him upfield just a hair, which allowed TCU to close in on that and knock the football away.
Incomplete, makes it 2nd and 10 for the Dogs. Clock stopped with 6:11 in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 for Georgia from our 42-yard line. Ball's on the far hash. The Dogs in red moving to the right. Play fake to Milton. Bennett slings it. That might be pass interference. I don't know. They don't call it, or do they? Nope, broken up at the TCU 42 by Hodges Thomas.
No, there is a flag.
All right. It looked like he got there a little bit early.
Pass interference, defense number 1, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So the Thorpe Award winner picks up a PI, and the Dogs move into Horned Frog territory with that penalty.
Boy, Dogs continuing right now to press the situation of this football game. Deep shot to Arian Smith. We had him there. Good play by TCU to break that one up, but right back to the air.
Ball's on the Frogs' 43-yard line. Pretty clean game from a penalty standpoint, 4 for each team. Dogs will keep it on the ground on this play with Kendall Milton and the California native trying to fight for yardage right of center, and he may have gotten inside the 40 in that grouping. Johnny Hodges, the linebacker, first guy to him to slow him down, and he does get to the 40-yard line, so the gain was 3. And it'll be 2nd and 7 as the Dogs continue to take their time. Try to get this third quarter in the books. 5:33, 5:32. Clock ticking. Dogs in no hurry. They're up by 38 points. Dejon Edwards in the backfield. Offset to Bennett's right. Will get the carry. Dejon changes directions. They try to wrap him up behind the line. He's still on his feet, and they finally get help from Hodges, the linebacker, to get him on the turf at the 41-yard line. He's going to lose the yards on that. Dylan Horton's the guy that made first contact and held him up, but Edwards was still trying to pull away from him. Now Dejon will come out, and it looks like McIntosh is going to come into the game into the backfield. Dogs facing third down and about 8 to go from the Frogs' 41-yard line now.
Dogs 5 out of 7 on third down. Just been so good in every aspect of this football game on all sides of the football.
Bennett talking to his receivers left for a moment. We bring McConkey in motion across the formation left. Snap it back to Stead in the shotgun. Wide open. The Big O catches it at the 20. They tackle him at the 15 or the 14. The Big O with his first catch of the game. May have lost his shoe. Yeah, they tackled him low. No, that was the football, I guess, that came out well after the end of the play. But Washington with a big catch to get the Dogs in the Massey Ferguson red zone. Hodge, the linebacker, had the ungrateful duty to get him on the turf.
We talked about how that play, this TCU defense is susceptible to just a seam route right down the hashes. TCU has struggled with it all year long there. They let the Big O, I don't know how you let the Big O run wide open, but not a white jersey in sight.
28 yards, first down. Dogs from the 13-yard line will run it with not much success this time. We tried to bounce out to the right side with Kenny McIntosh, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, but TCU got upfield penetration led by the nickelback Bradford, and they stop him. They're going to give him forward progress back to the line of scrimmage at the 13, and it's going to be second down and 10 from there.
Yeah, Dogs now absolutely in zero hurry, huddling up, trying to burn some clock. If we can go score here and put another one on the board, look for the Dogs just to call the Dogs off and put this one on ice.
Break the huddle, up to the line, second and 10. Bennett to Mack out to the left side. Runs towards the sideline, then slams on the brakes at the numbers at the 15. Tries to cut back to his right and slips and is being hit at the same time around the 14 by Hodges, the linebacker.
Well, that was a little swing pass, but nothing more than really a toss sweep. You just get credit for a completion with it. That one sniffed out pretty well by the Horned Frogs.
Yeah, we ended up losing a yard on the play. Back to the 14-yard line, so it's third down and 10. Third down and 11, the scoreboard says. But the yard marker looks like third down and 10 on the far side of the field. Van Pran up over the football, ready to snap it back to Bennett in the shotgun. We're on the TCU 14-yard line. Bennett to throw, lobs it to the right corner. There's McConkey. He got on his donkey and made a sliding catch in the right corner. Touchdown!
Boy, inside slot position from that trips look. He runs a corner route. Everybody else clears back out to the left as he's going to his right. A lot of green grass or black turf over there in the TCU end zone. Perfectly thrown football there by Stetson Bennett. Let it go early. Let your receiver go get it. And Dogs continue to pour it on.
What a soft toss by Bennett. Laid him out perfectly, and McConkey reaching out two hands. Beat Millard Bradford in the right corner for the sliding down catch. And the route continues 51-7. I've never seen anything like this in a championship game. Here's the point after try. Up and good by Pod. 52-7. Just score after score after score. Georgia's punted it once tonight, and then I think we've scored on every other possession.
It's just been relentless. Dogs now 485 yards of total offense. Stet with 304 through the air. We've got 181 yards on the ground. We're 7 out of 9 on third downs. We've got 52.
Third quarter is brought to you by Ag South, Ag Georgia, and Southwest Georgia Farm Credit Loans for land and farms. The Dogs with a couple of touchdowns here in the third quarter. A 22-yard throw and catch to Brock Bowers, and then the 14-yard reception by Ladd McConkey from Stetson Bennett just moments ago. Here's Pod's kick. It'll come down on the goal line, and Davis will try to return this one to the 10, to the 15, 20. Breaks through a pile at the 25, dives forward to around the 30-yard line. And that's the distance on the return, 30 yards for Darius Davis, the senior from St. Francisville, Louisiana. Pod made the stop on that kick return for the Dogs. Georgia back on defense. At what point does this TCU team just say, all right, we've had enough?
Well, I think it almost has to be right now. We'll see what they come out and what they try to do. They're going to keep fighting because they've got they've got pride, but expect them to keep the football on the ground to some extent and just say mercy.
And that's what they do here with the Imari DiMercato. Runs it straight ahead. Number 10, Dumas Johnson makes the stop after a short gain of maybe 3 yards, 2 yards closer to it. Ball's on the 32, 2nd and 8. Minute 45 to go, third quarter, and then the Dogs are 15 minutes from a national championship again. Play fake, Duggan. Pressure, nowhere to go with it. Here's Warren Brinson. Oh, he twisted him around. Duggan kept his feet and got away. Running to the near side, still looking. Throws it back across his body all the way to the other side of the field and overthrows his target, Davis, at around the 37-yard line. He had to throw that thing about 45 yards in the other direction after running, and he overshoots his man in just a scramble, compromised play that ends up being a long, incomplete pass.
Boy, really a dangerous throw there by Max Duggan that could have been disastrous because you get spun around that many times, you lose sight of where everybody is, and then you throw a 40-yard pass across the field that would have netted a 2-yard gain. Dangerous.
I thought Brinson was going to have the sack, but Duggan was able to escape. Play clock under 10. I think Duggan's trying to catch his breath after that. 5 seconds, 4 seconds on the play clock. They snap it back. Pressure with 4 men. They throw it and complete it to Davis. And Davis on the near hash across midfield on the catch and tripped up at the Georgia 45-yard line. So finally a positive play for the TCU offense as they go for 23 yards and a first down into Georgia territory at the Dogs 45 with a minute 8, minute 7, minute 6 to go in the third quarter.
Amoeba defense there from the Dogs on third down. We were walking almost everybody around. Nobody's hand was in the ground.
They want to run it here, and they do with DiMercato, who is from Inglewood, California, a homecoming for the TCU running back, tackled by Jalen Carter on that carry. And it was a short gain of only about 2 yards to the 43. Well, they say 2 yards, and 2nd and 8 on the 43. Play clock continues down. 30 seconds to go in the third period. TCU switches the tight ends from left to right, and then they send one of those guys back to a wing on the right side. Play fake Duggan being chased as he scrambles to the right. Beal going to chase him to the sideline and trip him up as he stumbles out of bounds. Back at the 46, 47-yard line. Going to be a sack for Robert Beal on Max Duggan.
Scott, that's just a great example of the speed of this Georgia defense, and Max Duggan just hasn't seen it all year long. That exact play all year long, Duggan's been able to get outside, pick up a big chunk of yardage, and really keep his team in games. Not against this Georgia Bulldog squad. Just too much speed, too much athleticism.
Into the quarter, 15 minutes from a national championship for your undefeated Georgia Bulldogs. We go to the fourth. Our second half tonight brought to you by First Franklin Financial, serving our neighbors since 1941. 42 consecutive points for the Bulldogs, leading TCU. I don't know, maybe you did expect it. I didn't expect it. TCU football. And they have it on the Georgia 44-yard line as we start the final quarter. Duggan wants to throw it, just dumps it off straight ahead, hit behind the line of scrimmage. Kamari Lassiter does the damage as he hit the running back, DiMercato, who, when they were trying to set up a screen to the right side, he hit him back at the 46 and lost 2.
Boy, great job there by Kamari Lassiter, sniffing that screen out, immediately coming up from his corner position. Now TCU keeping the offense on the field. One last fight here to try to gain a little redemption.
4th and 11 from the 46 of Georgia. And Duggan back in the shotgun, running back to his left, snap it back to Duggan, looks, pressure, throws it up for grabs, almost intercepted by a sliding Georgia defender, Tyke Smith, but the ball through his hands and incomplete around the Bulldogs 35. Georgia will take over. Well, it's good that he didn't intercept it because that would have been a loss on the exchange of possession. But Georgia will get the ball at our 46-yard line and take over there with 14-13 to go in the final period.
Yeah, no doubt. Tyke wanted that one, but good for the Dogs that he doesn't get it. Dogs take over again, and We've kept the pedal down. Expect for the foot to come off the gas here. I'd be surprised if the Dogs continue to throw it.
Branson Robinson is in the game in the backfield. He'll get the carry here with a lot of blocking to the near side, sweeping left and cutting upfield outside the numbers at the 45. They'll tackle him about the 49-yard line. He got 3. Caleb Fox, a reserve defensive end, on the tackle for TCU. 2nd down and 7. The Dogs slowly walk back to the huddle. Time to watch that clock tick down with every second that you can as Georgia huddles back at the 42, but in no hurry. 15 on the play clock.
And at what point in this game do you bring Stetson out just to give him the ovation that he so richly deserves? Boy, just what a way to cap off.
First charge timeout, Georgia.
This may be the moment. I don't know. Georgia calls a time. Yep. Stetson Bennett hugs Kirby Smart. Look at the team just react to Bennett coming out of the game. Carson Beck's going to come in and quarterback in the national championship game here in the 4th quarter. There's a timeout. We'll come back and talk about this after we tell you that First Franklin Financial is our second half presenter. Go see the friendly folks at Franklin. Go see the friendly Franklin folks. Either way it works at one of their convenient Georgia locations. 52-7, Georgia laying it on thick on TCU. Stetson Bennett coming out of his final game as a Bulldog. History to pass for over 4,000 yards in a season. And what a game tonight. 4 touchdown passes, 2 rushing touchdowns, over 300 yards passing. And now we've got Carson Beck to guide the team to a victory here in the 4th quarter. Beck, the redshirt sophomore from Jacksonville, will hand it off on his first play of the game. Georgia running with Branson Robinson, the freshman from Canton, Mississippi, wide to the right side. And TCU will stack him up with George Ellis, a defensive end in Horned Frog territory at the 49-yard line. Robinson gets 2, now checks out, and Kendall Milton will come into the ball game for the Dogs. Warren Erickson is our new center, and our right guard is Willock. McClendon still at right tackle, left guard still Truss, and Jones is still the left tackle. Beck in the shotgun, snap it back from Erickson, drops back, wants to throw, he will, and he finds Kieris at the TCU 42, steps through a tackle at the 35, and out of bounds near sideline at the 30. Run out by the safety Kamara and D. Winters, the linebacker, and that's a Scana Energy first down as the Dogs move to the 29, a gain of 20.
Good ball there by Carson Beck. Boy, just invaluable experience being able to go get into a national championship game. I don't care what the situation is, but to play on this stage, knowing that you do your job going into next year, you were the front runner, at least at this moment, to take over the reins of a program that's been just marvelously led by Stetson Bennett.
Robinson back in. He'll get the carry here. TCU covers him up as he crosses the 30. Gets back to the line of scrimmage to the 29. No gain on the play as he is jammed up in the gap by Luol UGAAINC from Edmonton, Alberta, a transfer from UConn. Now they show Stetson Bennett on the big overhead scoreboard or the video board up top, and the Georgia fans erupt when they see that familiar face up there on the screen. Bennett may collect his 5th consecutive postseason MVP award when we're all done here in 11-19. Dogs keep it on the ground, try to play some power here and push their guys off the line of scrimmage right down the near hash. Hodges is going to jam up the play, though, as he stops Robinson on the carry. And they unstack them, and the Dogs are on the 24-yard line. So that push got 5.
Boy, just a storybook ending for Stetson Bennett's storybook career. Finishes the game responsible for 6 touchdowns today. Boy, 4 touchdowns through the air, 2 touchdowns on the ground, over 300 yards throwing the football. What a way to end a magical career.
Snap it back to Beck. Wants to throw for the near corner. Hand fighting, grabbing, going on. No flag. Pass is incomplete. We were going for Dylan Bell inside the 5, and he was matched up with the All-American Hodges Tomlinson, and the pass went over their heads incomplete. And you know, and I don't mean any offense by this, but Stetson passed you today in touchdown responsibility.
It's appropriate. It's appropriate.
I don't know about that. But he passed you on the list, and he was one shy of what's it, David Green, I think, on the next on the list. Dogs on 4th down will keep the offense out there. We won't try to go for a field goal here. Beck will throw for the 1st down, and he's got it. A quick slant from the outside. Dylan Bell tripped up at the 15 or the 14. Oh, they're going to say 13-yard line. How about that play? Scana Energy 1st down on the bullet throw by Beck. And the Dogs have it 1st and 10 at the Horned Frog 13-yard line as we make yet another appearance inside the Massey-Ferguson red zone.
Quick slant there by Bell, and you're right, just a rocket. If there's one thing Carson Beck can do is he can spin the football, and a couple of passes here in his short stint in this football game, just lasers coming out of that right arm.
From the 13, we stay in the shotgun on 1st down. Hand it off to Robinson. He moves down the line of scrimmage looking for a hole. He found one. He's going to go into the end zone. Touchdown, Robinson. No, they're going to say he's down just outside, inside the 1. Wow, what a run by the freshman Robinson. He looked like he was going to stop just beyond the line of scrimmage, but he kept going. Georgia's going to get back on the line and go quickly. Hand it off to Robinson straight ahead from inside the 1. Did he break the plane? The officials are running in. Yeah, there's the signal. Arms go up in the air. Touchdown, Branson Robinson.
Boy, and Dogs just continue to pour it on. What a run on the play before the touchdown. Branson Robinson had no business even getting close to the goal line. Somehow keeps his balance, turning those legs, continue to fight. And boy, the future of the Dogs looks good.
Robinson with his 2nd touchdown of the year. And the one he'll probably remember the most in the national championship game. 58-7. And the point after try from Pod is coming. And this is Thorson in the game to hold instead of Stetson Bennett. So the punter comes in to hold so that Stetson doesn't have to re-enter the ball game, and the kick is good. The result's still the same from Jack Podlesny, and the Dogs lead it 59.
Plus, save every day on groceries and get personalized digital coupons for the win. The Kroger Plus card. All you do is win. Big, big savings. Sign up now at Kroger.com and start saving. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Fuel restrictions apply.
Back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth. Dogs with another scoring drive. 9 plays, 54 yards, 4:49 on the clock. A 1-yard plunge by Branson Robinson, the freshman running back. That's your Georgia Metals drive summary. From a doghouse to a dog's house, Georgia Metals has got you covered. And the Champions for Charity game is on every time the Dogs win. That's happening tonight. Camp Twin Lakes, the Salvation Army, and Children's Health Care of Atlanta will win, because Walton Gas will donate $1,000 to each of these local charities for every regular season win. And for every bowl game won by the Dogs, Walton Gas will donate $5,000. Everyone's a winner with Walton Gas, as Jack Podlesny booms one into the end zone for another touchback for TCU. And they'll take it at the 25-yard line with 9:24 remaining before another Georgia championship. 59-7, Georgia. And this one has never been in doubt.
No, it has not. You take away one blown coverage, and this easily could have been a shutout by this Georgia defense. Take that one play away. They've just been nearly flawless in their execution. The Dogs on offense, nearly flawless as well.
Somebody call a timeout. Oh, gotcha. Georgia's going to take out A quartet of seniors now. Kirby Smart out on the field to embrace with each one. Chris Smith, Robert Beal, Jalen Carter. Who's the other one that came out? Oh, Keeley was going back into the game? Okay, gotcha. Back inside the Piedmont Healthcare radio booth. 9:24 to go. TCU football on the 25-yard line. They will run it with 0 success. The Dogs eat them up behind the line of scrimmage. Warren Brinson and Tresman Marshall swallow up DeMercado. We haven't seen Kendre Miller, their starter, who had almost 1,400 yards this season, unable to go due to the knee injury. And Georgia has not allowed much of anything. Only 35 yards rushing for TCU tonight. They lose a couple there. 2nd and 12. Here comes blitz pressure, and Duggan will eat some dirt. Back at the 11. Tyke Smith with a blitz from the quarterback's left. Came sprinting in. Duggan had no place to go, so he dug himself a hole and got buried. Back at the 11, although they say they'll spot it at the 14-yard line.
Boy, you talk about making a statement right now. Kirby Smart is sending a message to anybody who wants to listen that we are the king of the hill right now, continuing to bring blitz pressure, throwing the football on 4th down on offense. No foot being taken off the gas here.
From the Horned Frog 14-yard line, 3rd down and 21. Duggan takes the snap in the shotgun with time, steps up from the edges, avoids more pressure, then slings it up close to the 30 where it's caught by Blair Conwright, a junior from Lubbock, Texas. Kamari Lassiter makes the tackle. It's short of the 1st down. They'll spot it on the 29-yard line. They need 6 more yards to continue the series.
Boy, and TCU keeping their offense on the field, going to go for it. If they're not going to cry uncle, we're not either, I guess.
Duggan takes the snap. 3 receivers to his left. Blitz! Sack! Down at the 19-yard line. Jalen Walker with the sack. That's closing in on a half dozen of those. That might be 4 on the night for the Dogs.
Boy, Walker looked like he was shot out of a cannon coming from his left defensive end position. TCU had a back there to pick him up, but not even close. Dogs take the football again, this time at our 19-yard line, going in, and more points could be in store for the red and black.
Well, like you said, Z, if you're not going to punt it back to us, we're just going to take it. 19-yard line. The Dogs will start this possession inside the Massey-Ferguson red zone. Carson Beck is the quarterback. Stetson Bennett has already made his exit here in the 4th quarter. Oscar Delp, the tight end, out at a wideout on this near side, will run it with Robinson, who scored a few moments ago. Shakes and bakes at the 20, at the 15, at the 10, to the 5. Pylon touchdown, left corner.
Boy, a massive hole opened up just off tackle. And once again, Dogs able to get outside and contain. We've been doing it all afternoon. 65 points on the board in a national championship game. My goodness.
And by a quick check, this is by far the most lopsided championship game in the history of the game. We found a Nebraska-Florida score in the 96 Fiesta Bowl back in the old days of the championship. 62-24 was the final in that one. That was a 38-point difference. This one is far different from that. Complete domination, and that's an understatement, as the extra point try is no good by Podlesny.
His leg might be worn out.
Oh my gosh, a rare miss, as the consecutive extra point streak. Let's see how many.
2 years and unlimited mileage. See Toyota dealer for details and exclusions. Valid only in the continental U.S. Expires January 31st, 2023.
Piedmont is the official healthcare provider of the Georgia Bulldogs. Jared Zirkle will kick this one off for the Dogs. 65-7. Georgia leads TCU in the national championship game. We're 7:23 away from the title That one will bounce inside the 5 and roll through the end zone for the touchback. Horned Frogs ball at the 25. They'll hop back to the line of scrimmage and try once more. They haven't scored in about 4 to 5 years, I think. 65-7. Their only points came in the first quarter. Georgia has scored, 55 consecutive points in this contest. Racked up 558 yards of offense. Stetson Bennett's already left the game with over 300 yards of passing, the first Bulldog quarterback to throw for over 4,000 in a season. And here goes TCU now with a handoff, and they've got a new quarterback in. Chandler Morris will hand it off. They'll run it straight up the hash with DiMaccardo, and we tackle him around the 33-34 with David Daniel Sisavon, the reserve safety, and Ja'Cory Thomas, a freshman from Orlando. That's your Ag South, Ag Georgia, and Southwest Georgia Farm credit, loans for land and farms. And the numbers will continue to build in the last 6 minutes and change as DiMaccardo will run it again up the far hash, straight ahead, nothing fancy. Same result. Same two guys made the tackle, Thomas and Daniel Sisavon at the 41-yard line. It's a first down for TCU.
Max Duggan exits the game 14 out of 22 to end what was a remarkable season. Obviously not ending the way he wanted it to end, but 14 out of 22, 152 yards, no touchdowns through 2 picks.
They've turned it over 3 times tonight, and then a couple of times, I think, on downs. And that last time as TCU will run it out of bounds on the far sideline, chased out by Tyrion Ingram Dawkins, the lineman who will push out DiMaccardo into the TCU boundary at the 41-yard line. And no gain on the play. It'll be second down and 10. As we'll try to handle some housekeeping up here and get all our mentions in. And that's a play fake by the quarterback, Chandler Morris. He's going to keep it and run to the left, and he'll get positive yards, chased into the boundary on the far side of the field, where at the 45-yard line. Georgia's got wholesale substitutions in the ball game. That last scoring drive by the Dogs was a touchdown for the second time by Branson Robinson, a 19-yard rush, and that happened on the first play on the exchange. Georgia took over on 4th down. 1 play, 19 yards. That was the Georgia Metals drive summary for that particular score, as Morris will throw. Pass is batted at the line of scrimmage, high up in the air, will land incomplete on the far side of the field. Dogs had Walker chasing after it, but to no avail. And it'll be 4th down for TCU. Ball's on the 45. Let's check in with Shock on the sidelines. Brought to you by attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. DJ, what's happening?
Well, fellas, I had a chance to talk to the mailman himself, and I congratulate him. Said, man, I'm proud of you. Awesome experience. And he just looked at me and said, bro, this is surreal. Never could have dreamed this in my life. But he was just cheesing from ear to ear. So he's soaking it all in down here, as all the other seniors that are down here celebrating as well.
Knuckleball punt. Fair catch made by Mekhi Muse for Georgia at the Bulldog 25-yard line. Yeah, boy, did the mailman deliver tonight through the rain and the sleet, and we didn't have any snow. Well, we didn't really have any sleet. We got a leaky roof. Does that count? 30-yard punt for TCU and no return. Dogs ball with 5 minutes and 7 seconds from a national championship. 65-7 Dogs. And let's check for any more substitutions for the Dogs. Carson Beck remains in at quarterback. Erickson, the center. Got some movement on the offensive line, I do believe. Dejon Edwards, no, this is Savon Clark, the walk-on in the game at running back. He'll get his first carry of the game here in the national championship. He angles to the right into the boundary and out of bounds around the 20, make it the 31-yard line. Gain of 6 for Clark. Kamara and Hodges Tomlinson in the secondary forced him into the sideline for the stop.
And Scott, what a difference a week makes. You know, last Saturday night we're in the fight of our life. win a game that really, I don't think anybody believed we had a shot at winning, and find a way to claw back in the fourth quarter where we dominated, won that quarter 18-3, and it rolls into this week where it's just been a celebration.
Clark with a big hole on the right side, finds the gap and hits it hard across the 45, close to midfield, out of bounds at the 49. Kamara, the free safety, pushes him into the TCU sideline.
Boy, another big hole opened up there by the Georgia offensive line. Doesn't matter who's in there right now. And Clark, even though he ran out of bounds, clock continues to run.
We've got Erickson at center, and then Jared Wilson's in the game. Austin Blasky, Dylan Fairchild, Chad Lindbergh. Savon Clark is the running back. Rylan Godey is the tight end. I saw him in there a few minutes ago. He's still on the field. Jackson Meeks is at one receiver. Muse is at one. And Dylan Bell. Run it with Clark. Sidesteps a man at the line of scrimmage at the 50 and into Frog territory at the 46. Obi Izor, a reserve safety, makes the tackle for TCU. But he got about 6 more. Going to be 2nd down and 4, maybe 5.
Yeah, more substitutions coming into the game. Dogs emptying the bench right now. What a great experience for so many guys that never thought they'd see the field on this stage.
3 minutes and 5 seconds from a championship. Georgia with the football, 2nd down and 5 from the Frogs 45. Snap back to Beck in the shotgun. Give it to Clark again. Savon trying to fight loose of the grip of the defender at the 45. He'll fall forward, struggling for 2 yards to the 43. Jamoy Hodge, the linebacker, hanging on for dear life to get Clark on the ground. Georgia football brought to you in part tonight by Pruitt Health, where family makes us stronger, proud partner of the Georgia Bulldogs. And Georgia football brought to you in part as well by your Atlanta area BMW centers, providing legendary performance, exceptional offers, and a premium ownership experience. Visit BMWATL.com today. Proud sponsor of Georgia Athletics. Beck goes under center this time. Will turn and hand it to the lone setback, Savon Clark. He angles outside the right tackle, trying to use a block from Meeks outside the numbers to the right. Not a lot of space there. TCU going to bring Clark down right around the 40-yard line with Hodge. But the Dogs didn't need a whole lot. They pick up the 1st down.
No, still enough to get the 1st down, and now minute 56 away, minute 55 away from a celebration that was hard-earned.
Clark got 3, and now with 1:40 to go before a championship, Georgia's going to go into the victory formation. Oh, how sweet it is. Carson Beck will take the snap from Warren Erickson and take a quick knee to the cheers of the Georgia faithful here in Los Angeles, California. 80 seconds to a title. Unbelievable performance by Georgia tonight. 65-7. Let's go ahead and get our ID break out of the way. Pause 10 seconds. Station identification. Bulldog Sports Network. .53 seconds to go. Clock still running. TCU's not going to stop it. Dogs will take another snap and another knee with Carson Beck. And we may have to snap it one more time. Yep, we will. Just a couple of seconds difference between the game clock and the play clock. And this will be the last snap of the 22 season. There it is. Beck takes the knee. And the countdown begins, 23 seconds. Dogs aren't waiting for that clock to get to 0. They've hit the field, celebrating here at SoFi Stadium. TCU begrudgingly walks to the middle of the field. Georgia on the logo, celebrating back-to-back Nats. Perfection wears red and black tonight. 15-0. The Dogs have done it and won a 2nd consecutive national title. And you can't be any more impressive than the way they did it tonight. 65-7. The Bulldogs leave their most abrasive mark of the season, and they made them quit. Let me tell you what, 65-7 the final, and let's soak it in.
Scott, it was a perfect game to cap off a perfect season. So many questions coming into this game about the Dogs in the last two games that they had prior to playing TCU, where it looked like chinks were finally in the armor of this Georgia defense against LSU, against Ohio State. Somehow we find a way to go win and raise question marks everywhere. Today, there are no question marks. A perfect season for a Dogs team that continue to fight, continue to get better, led by one of the grittiest performers in Stetson Bennett that the college game has seen, and what a way to cap off this season, what a way to cap off his career. Dogs on top of the mountaintop once again.
868th program victory, none more memorable than this one tonight as the confetti flies up and down and all over SoFi Stadium, the open-air stadium. The wind is blowing it around up into our booth here, high atop the stadium in the left end zone. 15-0, never been done before in Bulldogs sports history. Back-to-back championships, the first to ever do it in the college football playoff era, and the first team to win back-to-back titles since Alabama a smidge more than a decade ago, but that was in a different format. This Georgia team dominated from start to finish tonight. The Horned Frogs were no match for the Bulldogs, and the Dogs are going to get some more hardware momentarily as they move the stage onto the field, down to the far right end. It's time to celebrate. I think some people are already celebrating, if I know what I'm smelling, if you know what I mean. Oh, my goodness. The policy has been waived at SoFi Stadium.
Well, the cigars are out on the field right now.
That ain't it.
As players are getting them passed around, we're holding up newspapers with the headline "Perfect" on them.
And it was. It was indeed. I mean, you struggle to find some second half adjustments for this team that we did to start the second half, and the second half was almost as much perfection as the first half. To win this game, a national championship stage, by 58 points is unimaginable.
It really is. And to dominate the way that we did, this TCU team, make no mistake, they earned their way into this football game. They beat a very good Michigan team that had beat the Ohio State team that gave us as much a run for our money as you would ever hope for. This TCU team, 188 yards of total offense tonight, 152 through the air, 60 of those on one pass play where we had a busted coverage, only 36 yards on the ground. It was just domination every which way you can look at it. Even go down to time of possession. Dogs held the football 36 minutes and 59 seconds. The Horned Frogs had it 23 minutes and 1 second. Every category, as you would expect in a 65-7 beatdown, owned by the Red and Black.
Well, Georgia's won now. They match their all-time winning streak with their 17th straight. Let's go down to Shock, who's got a player on the field. DJ.
Yeah, I got my man Smile Monday. Big part of this defense, man. How's it feel, first off, to be a national champion? It feels great. Two-time, matter of fact. It feels great. Just feel good. All the work we put in, all the sweat, blood and tears, all that, it just feel like it all paid off. After everybody talked about what happened over the past 2 weeks, you guys came out and had a dominant performance. What was the key tonight? Just play together, stick to the plan. Everybody play connected. If we all stick together, they can't beat us. Smile, congratulations, man. Thank you, Scott.
Shock, thanks. Smile Munden, the leading tackler this season coming into the game, led Georgia tonight with 5 tackles, 4 of them solo, had a half tackle for a loss. I mean, Georgia's it was a unit tonight defensively. There was no one player on defense that really dominated. Bullard had a couple of interceptions in the first half, didn't have a lot of tackles in the game, was injured, didn't play in the second half. Munden finished with 5 tackles, Dumas Johnson with 4. There weren't a lot of stops to make, really, against the TCU offense. See, I mean, they could never really get anything going. Max Duggan a Heisman finalist. Certainly not the way he wanted to end the season. And let's go back down on the field to Shock. DJ.
Yeah, Scott, I got my guy Ladd McConkey, who came up big. A lot of Dog fans glad that you were able to come back and be healthy. Just talk about your performance tonight.
Oh my God, it's crazy to be able to do this 2 years in a row. Something special and something I'll never forget, that's for sure.
Tonight you had a couple big plays in the game, man. What was clicking on offense for you guys? Because you guys were rolling tonight. What was the big difference tonight?
I feel like we just got the momentum and kept it going. There were so many guys that I just felt like we could score every play and every drive, so we put it together, and sure, it was awesome.
Two-time national champ, perfect 15-0. How'd that feel?
I can't even put it into words. It's awesome. Yeah, it's truly a blessing. I'm gonna miss so many of these guys. They gave it their all, so I just love this team. I love it. I love this school.
Appreciate you, Ladd, man. Good. Scott?
Shock, thank you. Ladd McConkey from Chatsworth, Georgia. Touchdown tonight. Lots of touchdowns during the regular season for McConkey. One of Stet's favorite receivers, had 5 catches for the evening, had 2 scores actually. 88 yards. Bowers had a terrific night for the Dogs. 7 catches, 152 yards. His 7th career 100-yard receiving game. This is phenomenal. To 15-0, back-to-back national championships, and the final 65-7. Do we want to take a break here? All right, let's take a break. We'll come back and regroup. We'll get the trophy ceremony. We might be able to grab another interview or two with Shock on the field. He's down there in that throng of Bulldog red and black. Let's step aside for just a moment. We've got plenty more coverage from the national championship. Georgia dominates 65-7 over TCU on the Bulldog Sports Network. Snap, hold, kick. No! He missed it! Left! The bench explodes!
King, the lone setback. He's about 7 or 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the far side for the Dogs, going right to left. Stretch handoff to Caleb King. Big hole! 30, 35, 40. Caleb running behind blockers. 50, 40, 30. Go Caleb! 15,